when I first started this show and I created the Patreon, the Patreon thing said, do you want your patrons to give you their address? And I thought, that's a huge liability, I would think, to just have like several thousand people's addresses and contact information. So I was like, nah, you know what? I'm all about keeping stuff anonymous. So I was like, I don't need that. But that was the old me. The new me wants to know exactly where you live and your full name, even your phone number too, you know? And so on Patreon now, I've enabled that setting, and because we're going to send out some stuff, and it's going to be more than just 2 cups that I did last time. We're going to send out like a lot more shit. I don't know exactly how many, but I need addresses is my point. So I've enabled it on my end. I don't know if Patreon has like told you guys, hey, Sam wants your address now, but if you guys could figure it out on your end, you should be able to put in your address and it gives it to me. Unless you don't want me having your address, you know, I'm not gonna show up unless I'm in the area, you know. I want to be able to just walk out of my door and have a web of thousands of couches that I could potentially sleep on. So if you guys go ahead and give me your address on Patreon, that'd be awesome. And do it right now. Drop what you're doing. If you're some sort of like long haul trucker, if you're like one of those ice road trucker guys, go ahead, stop looking at the road, put in your address, and because I desperately need it. So thanks for that. Because for the cups, I had to email some people. I'm not emailing like 75 to 100 people, okay? It's not happening. So figure it out. All right, you gotta at least meet me halfway if you want free shit, okay? All right, anyways, enjoy this episode. Maybe a fist bump, maybe a high five. And you look good today. Go out there and conquer the day. Gotta put them shoulders back, put that chest out. Talk to women in your life with an assertive demeanor. They love that shit. Tell them how good they look. Tell them you like what they're wearing. Tell them what you don't like about them, too, because they don't want you to think you're just a yes man, you know? Really size them up and down and tell them what you feel. Women love that shit. So unprompted, too. Don't even spark up conversation with them. But that's just my little corner before this episode starts. You know, I just want to help guide you guys towards a more successful life. Anyways, do you want to talk about Dune 2?
Dune 2 get grabs at once. Yeah, that'd be sure. I actually, well, dude, it sucks. Like I'm like blasted tired, but I did try to like write down some like pathetic attempts at like podcast combo. Yeah. And I do have Dune 2 talk written here in our schedule for today with a dash Austin Butler kiss ? Is that going to come up? The Baron and Austin Butler's kiss, improv kiss. I don't know. We could talk about that, but sure. What did you think of Dune 2?
You know,
we saw it at the same time, worlds apart under.
Yeah, that is
same
odd.
Moon.
Yeah, I went with Abby, and we went to go see it. No, it was a good. It was a good time. I liked it. I think like the biggest criticism I have is it's not exactly some character motivations don't make sense, but besides that, it's good. It's you know what I think it's like?
What?
It's like do you remember the movie Alien?
Yeah.
I think like Dune 1 is like Alien, and then Dune 2 is like Aliens, like the sequel where Sigourney Weaver's coming back with like all the Marines. It's more like an action movie. They're both great movies, but I think if like
it's a part 1 and part 2, it's like really one movie.
Not really. There's like the first one's way slower paced.
I will sit down. Well, that's
the second movie is more like an action movie.
Now that the second movie's out, it reads. I mean, it picks up directly after part 1, just like a 6-hour movie.
Yeah,
that you just sit down and pop on.
I guess
quick 6-hour movie. But yeah, I mean, I was in some pretty hot water for even watching Dune 2 because my mom was pretty at it. I forgot I got like IMAX tickets to Dune 2 or Dolby Atmos. Sorry, like months ago. I have one friend that's always like, hey, man, tickets are going around. You're in, you out. I would just always say yes. I missed Dune 1 in theater with them. and I ended up not seeing it for like 6 months. I ended up watching it at home, which I do think it is like really a theater experience.
Yeah.
Like it really adds to it. So this time my mom's like, hey, you have to be at home because, well, this sounds fucked up. It's not, when I say it out loud, it sounds a lot worse. But I was not going to miss Dune 2. But I guess like an aunt I don't know is dying, and my cousins are in that I never talked to from Portland, and we were supposed to like all comfort them and have like a big family dinner, but I was going to have to miss Dune 2.
Yeah.
And I figured they would get that, even though I've only met them once before in my life, but they're very, they're cool. And then the trade-off was like, if you're not here for fucking dinner, like you're going to be here tomorrow, like 8 a.m. for breakfast. So, oh boy, I don't know if any of these viewers have ever had to wake up by 8 a.m. before. Probably not. Very hard.
How
Very
far
hard
of
to
a
do.
drive is it?
I don't want to dox really, specific.
Do you have to
I'm
wake up at
learning.
like 6 a.m. to?
I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. and then drive like 5 hours. So the math adds up. But the whole time watching the movie, I just kept thinking to myself, like, this better be good enough that it's worth like
waking up that
the
early.
anger of my family and waking up early.
Yeah.
And I'll say it was. I liked it a lot more than the first one, maybe because I got that theater experience.
Yeah.
But even like since watching it, like when I came out of the theater, I was just pretty tired and was like, that's pretty good. And now like the more I've thought back on it, I'm like, that was pretty damn good. Like I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff. Love that Austin Butler performance.
Yeah, he was good.
Timothy, he's doing awesome, doing great stuff. Stilgar, hilarious. A lot of laughs in the theater.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting some laughs in that theater.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't either. But
The whole theater is cracking up.
It's all like fanaticism in that movie that does come off as pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you guys haven't seen it, I'd recommend. I think it is definitely like a theater movie. I think I enjoyed it more than I would have just at my house. But so maybe I'm an idiot or something like that. Somebody's calling me. Fuck off. Stop. But what the fuck was with his mom? If you guys don't want spoilers, I'd turn your ears off right now. His mom was like, whatever you do, don't drink that blue shit. And he's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, I don't want to go south. I'm scared of what'll happen. 2 seconds later, they give us no like turning point or anything. He's just like races there by himself and goes, give me the blue shit. Drinks it.
Well, see,
and runs
I was
down
confused
south.
because that's the moment where I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I was like, what happened? My friend's
Nothing
like,
happened.
Nothing really. Like they're just like in the South now. And I was like, how?
He
like,
just
would
said
they
for 40 minutes,
then,
I
like-
ain't going there. And then
like Chani like shows up in one of those like ornithopters. I was like, how'd she get that? And my friend's like, I don't know if they, I have no idea. I'm like, dude, like you're supposed to fill me in.
Yeah.
He went to the bathroom and, well, this is definitely way more of a spoiler, so I won't give it, but a big reveal moment. And I had to fill him in telephone style. That was pretty unfortunate. I really can't answer it because I wasn't there, but I feel like he wanted that blue stuff because it looked pretty tasty.
It looked pretty good. Yeah.
It looked pretty good. It looked like Chug Jug.
It did.
And he was probably just getting some like visions of like, oh my God, that's actually
it's
pretty
actually
baller.
mad tasty. My visions are telling me it's like the tastiest shit.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There is incredible switch up once you drink that. Just like spice concentrate juice.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There was some stuff towards the end where I'm like, what the fuck is even going on? They weren't really great at. And it felt so rushed where the Emperor just lands all of a sudden, and then like 4 seconds later.
Yeah, I guess I did. Well, like, yeah, the end battle where it's just all of a sudden they're like blowing up into the Emperor's room.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're here now. I guess they're in this Emperor's room.
The pacing, like the first movie took forever. And I thought it was beautifully paced where I was like, nothing feels rushed. And somehow the second movie, I've never felt more rushed in a 3-hour movie. I guess that is a testament to how dense the material is. But
It didn't feel like 3 hours, really.
it didn't. It didn't. I came out of the theater. I was like, that was not fucking 3 hours, and I felt like that needed to be 2 separate movies.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I rewatched it. Maybe I'd have some issues with the pacing. Maybe I'm blinded by the goggles because there's parts I guess I don't even understand, like why he went so quickly. I mean, I know. I mean, it's something with the golden path or whatever. He's like, there's one world where this all works.
Oh yeah, there's one thin way through.
Yeah,
and
drink that blue juice.
I guess the blue juice south. Was in the way. Yeah.
And then after that, he's like Mr. Yelly. He's over there screaming at everyone. Silence. I am Lisan Al-Gaib. I like the ending. His noble sacrifice to have to marry Florence Pugh and bang Zendaya on the side. I thought that was really noble.
I thought
I
so
would have
too.
done the same thing.
Although Zendaya doesn't seem to be on board. She seems like
he said she'll understand one day. We open this up for thirds. Yeah.
In reality, when he was looking at possible futures, like Doctor Strange, he was like, "There's one thin way through where I get to fuck the Emperor's daughter and to keep Zendaya on the side."
There's a 3-way scenario. I have to go south and a billion.
I gotta drink worm juice to do this. Whatever.
Oh,
I get to fuck both of them. Hell yeah.
That would be an awesome reveal. That's a true golden path.
Yeah. At the end of the series, they're like, Emperor, what do you say about your legacy? I didn't want this. Okay. I didn't want the crown. I didn't want the robes.
Oh, they're bouncing on it. Oh, God. Oh, they're munching and bouncing. Oh, good heavens, oh, Lord.
That's why I made these choices.
Yeah. Austin Butler came back to life, and now it's a party. Yeah, I really like the whatever it's called, like I'm by no means like a before this Dune fan. Or like I haven't read the books. I don't give a shit ultimately. But now I'm watching videos. I'll probably read the books and stuff. But the Harkonnen homeworld, very cool. I know we talked about those. They were shot in like infrared and in some filter.
Very cool.
Merged together. Very, very just stunning in a word. And
he's really good at scale. Denis is.
Yeah.
Like it very like massive. Dennis. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. Very like large set pieces where it doesn't obviously it's CGI, but it doesn't like look like a shitty CGI. Look, although there's some wide shots of the Coliseum like audience, and it looks like all the Harkonnens lined up cheering. It looks like one of those old racing games, or maybe like NFL Blitz 2001. Yeah, where it's like, there's definitely some like there was one guy that was going like whoa like this, and they took him, and then they also like composited him over here, so you see two guys doing like the same movement.
Impossible. There's like 1 trillion people in those stands. No way 2 of them are both whooping in excitement. Okay, movie sucks.
Yeah, movie sucks. Right on.
Well, even like as stupid as we are, and as much as we're like, why is the main thing in the movie happening? I did see some people that made me feel better afterwards, where I think it was a TikTok or a Twitter post was like, hey, just in case you didn't pick up on it, like the reason we're seeing the Harkonnen planet in black and white is because the way that their sun is. And like, it's actually not just a filter, blah, blah, blah. And there was like hundreds of comments like, oh shit, didn't realize that. Like, I feel like they spell that out almost immediately where they're like, under our black sun, like things look weird here. And people are just like, just thought it was purely stylistic or something. Yeah. I don't know. Just like, okay. I guess
thought you know what? I thought it might have something to do with their planet just because they do a looking up at the sun's shot, and there's a gradual slide from inside to outside where it goes into like a gradient of infrared. And it's like, I just thought that's what the outside looked like there.
That's I didn't even think there would be any other way to take that. And then,
I don't know.
There's always I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, how the fuck didn't he know?
Dude, you know what?
Blue juice.
We should have had like a Dune expert or something, because I was mentioning like a gripe to B-Torn. He's like, well, actually, because in the books,
Yeah.
There's actually like a 9-year gap there in time. And I actually did like pull up a timeline where I was like trying to figure out like how long from the point where they attack and kill his dad and everything is he out in the desert just chilling. It's only a couple months before he's like, I'm Jesus, by the way. I thought it was like years or something like that. It's not. It's actually the timetable is so quick. It's only like I think like a year or two before from the time to where Christopher Walken comes down and gets his ass kicked. It's a very short amount of time, but
it's a quick turnaround. And then like thousands and thousands of years of war or whatever.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of videos now, like explaining Dune Messiah or like Children of Dune and like how fucked up his family gets and how the war, I mean, how costly it is. It makes me like, I probably will read the books, but also.
With what time?
What time? I'm busy. Like
you got shows to watch and stuff, and
I've been watching shows like Shogun.
Yeah,
great show, guys on Hulu. Guys, this is an advertisement for shows that are real. Shogun, watch that. It's good. I watched the new Avatar: Last Airbender. Just whatever. It's fucking. It's fine. You know, it's like didn't offend me in a way where I'm like, this is anti-art, but it was not good. And I just started rewatching the actual animated one, and it's just miles better. Anyway, that's kind of what I've been up to. So that's why I was too busy to read those books. I watched those 2 shows.
You know, that Avatar, The Way of Water, like the sequel came out.
Yeah.
And
what do you mean the sequel came out?
Avatar 2.
Korra?
Avatar 2 is the...
What do you mean Avatar? Like Korra?
No,
or
Avatar: The Way of Water, like the Avatar movie with Pandora.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm talking about
I know
Last
you're talking
Airbender.
about The Last Airbender.
Oh, okay.
But it made me
think. The Way
think.
of Water really sounds like you're talking about like book 1 of.
Well,
Avatar.
I'm not.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I know how there's 2 James Cameron.
Yeah, and I was thinking,
Avatars.
what's funny is people always remark about the first Avatar being such a huge blockbuster, but nobody really remembers what the hell was going on. And so I was thinking, like, a lot of people talked about Avatar when it came out. I haven't heard a word about the sequel to Avatar since it came out. And I was wondering if it was like a huge success or anything. This movie made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And once again,
like
everybody was just like, it kind of did the same thing the first movie did.
I mean, it was absolutely awesome to watch in theater.
Was it?
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning visuals. Yeah. And if you can ever make your way to Disney to ride the
Avatar
ride. Like Banshee's Whale or whatever, I did that a couple years ago. Actually, very, very solid. They lock you into a contraption, and then it like, and you're just kind of watching a screen. It's like intense VR.
They used to have
cool.
an Alien 4D ride or something at Epcot. And at some point,
Kids, balls, cock. What do you mean?
Like while you were riding and stuff, it would
burp at you and stink it up, and
you were sitting in your chair, and they were like, "There's an alien loose. He's in the vents or whatever," and like
that would scare the
steam
fuck out
would
of me.
like launch at you, and all of a sudden you'd feel it like breathing on the back of your neck, and then a tongue would come out and like lick the back of your neck, which is fucking weird.
Just an employee. It's a lucky job.
And I remember being a kid. I was too small, so like it just came out and like touched the top of my head.
Oh.
But that stuff was fun as hell. All those rides, like any movie related ride. I'm not even a big fan of Harry Potter. I read the books when I was a kid, but I would kill to go to Diagon Alley for sure. It would just be cool to see all that.
Butterbeer and Harry Potter world's pretty nuts. And then one of the Star Wars rides, it's like the First Order one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually very cool. You're in a little transport thing, and you go into some like physically you are in a very large room with like 20 actors in there, and it's cool. And then the Millennium Falcon ride, I remember, here's my only memories of the Millennium Falcon ride. Rage, okay, some sort of anger, just kind of blind jealousy and envy, because I was already worried before going into it, like who's going to be the pilot. And like I'm with my family, and it's like they all know that's kind of my shit from, like when I was a kid, especially. Like, I mean, how many Han Solo toys do I gotta have in this house until I get some respect? And they gave my little sister the pilot because they're like, well, she's a little kid. Like, okay. Like, I'm about to kill a little
How
kid.
How old were you?
Because, I mean, 22.
Yeah, give it up, dude.
Give a shit.
Give it up. Give it to the kid.
When am I going to be back there is what I want to know. When am I going to...
Positive life experiences end when you're 18. Okay, you it's a life of sacrifice after that and selflessness.
Well, she flew like an asshole and cost us her run, so I'll never let that go. I think I was like co-pilot or something. It wasn't bad. They made me make Chewbacca noises the whole time. It was, yeah.
What about like the turret thing?
Did
they even have like a turret that you could sit in and spin around, or?
God, it was like a couple of years ago, and they had like, I think like moms and dads, like you sit here and you just press like missile button, like shield, like you just were kind of flipping switches and pressing buttons. And I think someone was on turret, but I don't think it's like you physically are like, oh, get some. Sorry, is there something more important on your phone? I'm out of here. You just.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna be like something really serious.
No. Abby was like, I need to know the name of that book series. I'm trying to get Madeline to learn how to read, and she's like, she's just reading a lot, but she's like finding books that are a little bit too difficult or stuff that's too easy. And I've decided the perfect thing that she needs to read. Do you remember Captain Underpants?
Yeah. I love Captain Underpants.
And
I
Abby
love
was
the one
like,
that had
what's Captain Underpants? I was like, and she was like, I need to know the name of that series. I was like, it's Captain Underpants. That's what I was texting to her. So she's going to go buy those for Madeline.
Captain Underpants. And he's educational?
And he's educational.
Yeah, those books did rule. I remember one of them had a big billboard in the back where it was like, your villain or like superhero or underpants name is, and it was one of those like first initial, last initial.
Yeah.
And just that one page got so much use in my school of people going around being like, oh my God, your name is actually Stinky Underwear or something. I can't remember. I know the cover of the book, but
there was like 1 million of those books, I think. They're so easy to make. Yeah.
Well,
there was one that cracked me up. Like, even as a kid, I thought it was a funny joke. The guy was like, and then it blew up and creating a smoke cloud that made this page incredibly easy to draw. And it was just, they just drew the entire page was just a big cloud. I was like, awesome. That's funny.
Yeah, she's almost ready for Diary of a Wimpy Kid books.
Almost, yeah.
The Diary of the Wimpy Kid Do-It-Yourself journal. If anyone ever finds mine, you are not allowed to read it. That is one of the worst. That is the most vulnerable I've ever been in my life. And my family found it and read it, and I will never open up again. They found out my like 4th grade crush in there. Granted, direct
Wait, your
karma.
mom take part in this?
I think my little sister found it because she got my room when I moved out. It was like, and then everyone was like, reading through it because I'm like a pretty private person, so they're all like, finally. But granted,
that's fucked up.
No, it's deserved because as I said this, I remembered that one time a girl left hers underneath like the chair bin where I sat, and I took her book home and read it. And I probably deserve the worst because that was a really.
Did you weaponize it?
No, that was just a really big low. I think I dropped off and lost and found or something later, but I remember too the girl was really weird, so I was just kind of like curious, like what's going on in there?
Yeah, one of the weird kids. What's going on in that head? Yeah.
She later asked me out like 4 years later by sending over her friend who was like, everyone's got those kids like. She's like a horse, like not just like a horse girl, like she would eat grass and like drink out of puddles at recess and stuff, just like kid shit.
Yeah.
And her horse friend came over and was like, my friend wants to ask you out. She's like, her. And she pointed to like, it was like really hot chick. And then like this cretin whose book I had rifled through like years ago. And I was just like, yeah, I know which one you're pointing at. Let's be real here. There's no beating around this bush.
Hot chick doesn't hang out with the horse girl.
Which one? Yeah. I know it's coming for me. Yeah, it's my comeuppance. But yeah, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Geronimo Stilton. She's ready for the good stuff almost. Stilton Mouse Detective.
I remember I wrote, like, I had a kid's, like, it was like a weekly planner for school, and I used that as like a diary. And my mom just straight up like read it like in front of the whole family, and they were just like, look at this, he wrote this, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that was like the most traumatic.
Yeah, I
just sat there just completely getting just knocked down into shit. And
that's awful.
But she's dead now, so it's okay. Yeah. You know, I win.
You should have read hers at her funeral.
Yeah. Remember this, Mom? Remember this shit? Oh, dude, yeah. I saw the funniest like nature documentary premise, and I was just like cracking up because nobody else seems to think it's funny except for me. But it was
it's already a bad sign.
It's not a good sign. No, you'll think it's funny. I think.
Okay.
Okay. So the first episode was they were like, we need to see how these crabs work, and they're like, a person gets in the way. It disrupts them having a big person there with a camera. So they dress up like a little robot crab to look like the other crabs. It has cameras on it, and they send it in there to record what the crabs are doing. Yeah. And it turns out the life of a crab is horrific because you're just waiting in a big pile of crabs as these stingrays swoop down and eat you one after another. And so they just have like a herd mentality. I don't know if they learned anything there, but they're like, we'll take the same idea and we'll use it for gorillas. And so they made a little robot gorilla and they put it out in the woods, and like gorillas are smart enough. They look at it and they're like, something's up with that.
Yeah.
Something's up with that fucking gorilla. Its hair is way different than ours. It looks like cheap weave that you buy in like a salon or something.
Yeah, like those. Is this been out?
Yeah, I think so.
It coming out?
No,
okay, I
was gonna say,
I feel like I've seen the robot gorilla before.
And the other gorillas are kind of like looking at it and poking it, and they're like, they're letting him stay. I'm like, I think they're really on edge looking at this gorilla.
Yeah,
there's no way they don't pick up.
They love it like one of their own.
When you look at its eyes, one of its eyes is going meow, 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 and focusing because it's a camera, and
its head's spinning around 360.
And they placed it right next to a small like baby gorilla, and God. Side by side they look nothing alike. It's very clearly a robot. It's just funny. At some point, I imagine they picked it up and broke it against a rock, but they probably cut that part out.
They don't want to show that. Yeah. Oh, here they are. They're mashing it. They're absolutely mashing it. Well, yeah, it's like bait crabs. Like, crabs even give a shit if like you just put like a fucking regular ass robot?
You could just put a camera in there next to them, a GoPro.
There's a crab care. Like, it could probably be a stingray camera and they wouldn't run.
Yeah.
Stupid crabs. We'll all be crabs eventually, though, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But also, I did want to go over some of the because last episode on the Patreon exclusive, obviously we talked about Bryan, and if you guys this is a public episode, if you're curious, you're probably gonna have to subscribe to the Patreon to find out what happened to him. But it's pretty sad, so I'd probably check that out. It's pretty sad. But we asked for ideas for like other things we could do while we're together, you know, physically in Florida next week. Mm-hmm. And I have a couple of them written down. I don't know if you'd just be able to say like how likely it is that we could do it or not, or because I know a lot of it's just going to be like plan it out once we get there, or time consuming, or like requires a lot of pre-planning.
Well, if you tell me now, I can prep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So first off, Eskimo kisses was asked at least once.
Okay. I'll brush my teeth first.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Like, well, Eskimo kisses. Am I wrong?
No, it's just your nose. It's just your nose. Yeah. Yeah.
I used to call those butterfly kisses are with your eyelashes.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually clears up a lot for me. Definitely doable, at least on my end, for that one thing.
Yeah. Put a little check mark. Maybe a little heart next to it.
There was multiple comments about like mini golf or golfing or something. I don't know. Like, maybe we could do that for fun and not record it, and we could just tell you guys about how we went mini golfing. Like, I love mini golf.
Let's save mini golf for San Diego because they had an awesome mini golf place.
Yeah, but once you're there, it's like really so little time, so much.
You say that, but I mean, well, then again, it was like at 10 a.m. or something when I went.
Yeah.
And I was on like 2 hours of sleep, and I was like, oh, man.
Let's just go for like 2 weeks next TwitchCon.
Mm-hmm.
Food cooking video. I feel like that's just like a whole nother thing. Like that's just kind of, I also don't really like to eat stuff that's disgusting, which is just like a personal
That'll
thing.
throw a wrench in the whole operation. Yeah.
But I have eaten disgusting things before.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, I assume I have to get used to your wife's cooking anyway. So, just an idea. I don't know how likely that is though, guys. Sorry. This one was funny. A beer test where you just get like all the worst beers you can find and then put a Voodoo Ranger in there, and I have to blind taste test and see if I can tell it apart. Come on, guys. I would be able to know the difference pretty quickly. All right. We don't even need to do that test. That could be really bad for me brand wise.
Yeah.
That could ruin a lot of things for me.
It is funny how the the premise of that is very much a Voodoo Ranger tastes like shit.
Well, whoever commented that, you're banned now from the Patreon. You're not going to bother me anymore. No, I would be able to. I'd go. I'd probably even be able to tell you the style. Voodoo Ranger, exact label.
This is Jungle IPA. I can tell.
This is a jungle beer. Tell it's got a little robot in it. Okay. Also, shout out when I was writing these down, looking through the comments. Josiah Franklin, who told people that they should start telling the subreddit that Bryan died, and to learn more, they need to subscribe to the Patreon.
That's a banger idea.
And multiple people actually commented on that comment, like, damn it, you got me. Like, I came here from Reddit.
Yeah.
I became a Patreon to find out if Bryan actually died. So thank you. That's a couple extra bucks in our pockets, and that's some good work. That's some fine work there.
That was good shit.
5-minute makeout sesh.
No.
Probably not going to happen.
No.
An arm wrestle, which is like a step in a different level of intimacy.
I could do an arm wrestle, but I've seen a video where a guy breaks this.
Yeah,
this
that
part.
is pretty.
It's like a radial fracture, and it just.
Spinning off that, someone also just said Predator high five, which I think is.
We could do that.
Kind of,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, we could do
that on camera.
Well, we could set up a whole. We'll do a green screen.
We could oil up.
Predator high five. That could be the new intro.
I need to get a pump in though. I need to get a pump in before I go down.
I got a gym in Abby's office.
I haven't been getting my pumps. Yeah. I've been eating really poorly actually right before my Florida trip. So no beach pics from me, but I am going to get my tan back. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, you do. You look remarkably pale.
I know.
What happened? What the fuck?
I literally been staying up till 6 a.m. for like months. I miss the sun most days. It's just if you do that for like 4 or 5 years, I guess it starts to. It's weird too because my penis is more tan than my face, and I could show that also to you guys when I'm down there. Someone wanted me to just do manual labor around your house.
I have some. Yeah, I got some bushes that need planting. And
is that an innuendo or is that
no? I need some bushes that need planting, and I have some fertilizer in a pile on the driveway that needs to be moved across the yard.
Definitely an innuendo. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. You got some driveway fertilizer? Yeah. Okay. This one is actually just like my dream podcast. Just eventually becoming riff tracks, but someone said you guys should do a commentary track for all those movies you always talk about.
Yeah.
But also, I don't really know how those work. I don't know if people just upload a full video to like Patreon.
They don't.
It's an unlisted.
The problem is
some people do though. They upload like just them doing commentary, like a riff track style thing
onto Patreon. Like Patreon does the hosting.
Pretty much it. Yeah, I mean they have like YouTube videos where it's like I don't even know how they get away with that, where it's like cut up parts of the movie. But then they're always like, yeah, subscribe to my Patreon if you want to see the full.
Because I tried doing we did one for Jim Cotta, me, Bizzle, and Bryan, and I couldn't find anywhere to put it. If I put it on YouTube, immediately just got taken down.
Yeah, I need to figure that out.
Twitter immediately got taken down.
Because when this all falls down, I'm starting a riff tracks type thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of a really awesome pun name that I can't think of off the top of my head, but it will be sweet.
Is it Sam Antics again?
Yeah. Samurai. We talk about Shogun. Fishing. That was the last one. Someone said go fishing, but
my brother did just buy a boat, but no fishing.
No.
I'm not like a fishing guy. You're talking about your mom having like flutter fear of like chickens.
You don't like you said that the slapping of the fish.
You grab a fish and
fins down,
and they end up like flapping on you. It's weird.
I hate when you're fishing and like a hook goes through the eye or something. Like I just feel awful. Or like even when you're just, I hate that. I don't know what, it's a very specific thing to not like, but that like when you're wiggling the hook around, that like grinding noise of like hook on bone, it's almost like people scratch their jeans. I just hate that noise. I don't know. Like cannot stand that noise. So probably no fishing, guys, but also I have been wanting to fish lately for some reason. Just like catch like just one monster and just then like retire again.
Just one big. We should do like a safari where we like get a paid guide.
That'd be cool. Like in this, like not in the safari.
No, they have like the equivalent safari type thing, like a guided fishing tour where they basically have like radar and they go, "There's a big one right here. Put your thing down right here." And then I'm not sitting there like an asshole on the boat for 6 hours waiting for something to nibble.
Hey, bad day fishing better than a good day with a wife and kids, right? That's what they say.
I like my fucking house, dude. Okay, I like being inside.
A bad day fishing is one of the worst things ever to me.
Yeah,
it's
very
very tedious.
I wasted an entire day sitting on a boat. That sounds.
I never know where to poop. I never know where to poop or pee.
Yeah,
and that becomes a problem. Just go in the water. Sorry, I can't. I get too nervous when there's people around. Just not for me.
Yeah. I noticed like if you go to the beach too, there's just the bathroom facilities are usually so shitty. And you just sit there and if you pay attention, you just sit there and watch. Every 30 minutes, people will just get up and go out into the water for like 30 seconds and come back. I'm like, they're just out there pissing. That's all they're doing. Well, just walking out there to piss. And I know
it's
okay
in an ocean. Yeah,
it's okay in an ocean. I feel like all that water that's crashing in waves, that's like the same water. Like,
it's getting filtered through the
There's no
sand.
way. Like, how long does it take the water that's out in the middle of the Pacific to make its way to the coast? I feel like that stays out there forever. And it's just piss water.
This would be an interesting experiment. If I walked down the beach and just dumped a little thing of ink, piss. If you were then able to like go out in the water and grab some of that up and like. I'd be very impressed.
No, I'm not saying one person's piss worth, but have you ever been to a packed? Yeah, if a thousand
really
people
go to like a packed beach, I hate it.
If 1,000 people went out to the beach and they all dumped their little piss vial,
see what you're saying, yeah.
I'm sure it just sits there and crashes on the shore over and over again. And the water has to be at least 1.5% piss.
I've like lost all. I don't even like swimming anymore. Really, I don't like being in pools. I don't like being in ponds.
That's an awesome mindset to have before you go on a family vacation to the beach.
I don't really like the beach. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I
thought I was just, grass is always greener on the other side because I was born in Florida. Like anytime we went on any sort of weekend getaway, it's always to the beach. And my dad lived. There was this place called it's called Paso Grill. It's down near Tampa, I guess. I don't know where the fuck it is. And it's near this big place called the Don Cesar Hotel, and he lived beyond it, and it was like a private beach, and it was so beautiful, and it was like the most picturesque shit in the world. I sat there and built sandcastles every day during the summer, and I like most picturesque, beautiful beach in the world. I got so bored of that in one summer, and I was like, I don't think I could go to the beach again if you paid me. I really am not a fan of the beach.
Well, also it's like in San Diego, some of those waves. You can just bodyboard like 40 feet. Like I got some serious action. And then like the Gulf of Mexico, most of the time it's just like
dead. Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. The only thing I do there now is I'm just like an old person. I just rent a like beach cruiser bike and I just go like, do. That's literally like almost all I did last time I went And I'm pretty excited to do that again. And hopefully it gets me back onto my workout. Because last time I started biking a lot was because I went to Florida. I was like, holy fuck, I'm so bored.
Yeah.
And then when I came home, I was like, I'll keep that up. Now I've fallen off. So I'm hoping Florida. It's just, the beach is like, I really do sound like a, like pussy or like Anakin Skywalker or something. But it's like, I'm just too impatient to like, I hate when people are always like, let's just lay out. Like, it's boring. And then it's like I try to read a book on the beach. It's so bright. It's so bright.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think
so
like the
flat,
beach
too.
that I enjoyed the most recently went up to Pacific Northwest. And their beaches there have big signs that say, don't put your back to the beach because it'll grab you and drag you out, never to be seen again. And the waves are just horrific. They're like 10-foot waves crashing
It's just
down.
beautiful to look at.
It's beautiful, but it's like scary. It's like it's a different type of beach where you're like,
I want to go there.
Horrifying
really bad.
when you think about it.
When I caught breakfast with my cousins after I missed Din for Dune, they lived pretty close to the beach and like in between Portland and Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just talking about like, you got to come out here sometime. Like the beaches are not like to swim in, but they're very pretty. I'm like, that's perfect. I don't like swimming in a beach. If it was more visually appealing too, like rocks and trees and stuff, like
that's a bluff.
that's cool. I could sit there. I could sit at a pier a lot longer than just a beach, maybe, because it's like there's something. I don't know. Even San Diego, like a lot of those coast houses and stuff, it was just like more interesting than at least where I go in Florida, where it's just like
You're like all the beaches. I just feel like are they're the kinds that have the little bamboo umbrella, and then you wade out there. And it doesn't get any deeper than just like waist level, and people have like drinks and shit, and the swim up bars. Like the further south you get, the Caribbean
some people
style
never
beaches
see a beach in
more,
their whole
I
life.
know, and they're like, all I want, that's paradise to me. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I want some mountains. That's like
you're luckier than me, guy that's never been able to leave where he's from. Because when I go down there, I'm like, man, this is boring. So,
it's fucking boring.
Grass isn't always greener. Beaches can be boring.
The only way I've been able to put it, and like Abby doesn't get it because she loves the beach. It's like you're standing on the edge of the world, looking off at nothing. It's like I feel like I should be turned around. Like I want to find mountains.
Yeah.
I want to be like in forest type areas. I like lakes, but I'm not a big fan of the open ocean.
I'm hoping the older I get, the more comfortable. Because I've already found a little like in the woods where now I can just kind of sit out there and be like, nice. Yeah. Like you're growing up and I'm like, this fucking sucks. And now I'm like getting more like, it's relaxing. There's like birds and deer and I could keep going. But on the beach, I'm just, I don't know. I just need to get to, I'm also just like never content with being with myself. So like a beach is like the ultimate, like, hey man, you gotta think out of here. You gotta do some digging.
It is a spot for introspection, but those days of like, hey, I want to go to the beach and just chill. You better be a damn good conversationalist because I'm not gonna sit there in silence like an asshole on the beach. And that's why I feel like a lot of people don't like the beach is because it's, no offense, you're about to go on one, but a family vacation. Like how many conversations can you have with your family? Ugh.
Sober, a lot less. Now we will, if it's anything like last time we went at night, that's when the real talk comes out. That's when the family secrets come out.
Yeah.
You learn about
those are weird though.
Like great history.
We had a very small portion of that in my family, and it was when my grandfather died because he was like the iron fist of the family. And then when we could get my grandma kind of separated, or if she was just like, I'm gonna go in the kitchen for a little bit. That's when like you would have like actual conversations. But like the older generations definitely are like, keep it polite.
Yeah.
Keep it good. Don't say no curse words. It's like, what the fuck am I can't talk. I can't even say cool shit. What the hell? Can't ask real questions.
Yeah. Like how many times do you fuck?
Yeah.
I can't cuss. I can't ask a real fucking question.
Dude, I have like a guy doing a estate sale at my grandma's house, and my grandpa was a very straight-laced dude, super Christian, and he's he never said any bad words or anything like that. One time when I was a teenager, we found a picture of it was a nude picture of Norma Jean, which was Marilyn Monroe's name before she was Marilyn Monroe. And I was like, whoa, is that Marilyn Monroe? He like took it, never to be seen again. And I told the estate sale guy, I was like, if you find that, like, that's what you're emptying this house out for. That's the end goal is that Norma Jean picture. Because it is insane to me that guy had a nudie at any point. And it's like, but if I would have like brought it up to him, like that would have been a conversational no. Like, don't even talk about it. Like, what the hell, man? Everybody's hiding behind these like goody two shoes, I guess, type personalities that they want to maintain. Like, why would you?
But you look at this porn picture, so you're going to hell, Grandpa. Yeah, you are actually evil.
I was probably jeopardizing his soul.
Spot.
His spot.
Oh,
he was probably
Grandpa, it's all sticky.
Yeah.
Shut off.
That picture's funny because it is explicit, but I do have another great picture of him from like 1952, and my grandma was sending him like nudie mags, and it's just a picture of him at a desk, and he's got them all laid out, like fanned out. Like, which one am I gonna read first? And that picture's just so funny to me.
You have a picture of him looking at all the pictures?
Yeah, it's a picture of him looking just at the covers of all the nudie mags.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'm like, this is so foreign to me.
Oh.
Yeah, he's biting his knuckles.
I
have it right here.
It's really hard. And his, how do you have this just on?
Because I have it, and I'm like, I need to print this out. This picture rocks. He just has like all these.
Yeah, dude, that's a gooner. That's a
1950s gooner right there. And what's funny about this pic is I found a roll of film. I did a video on this like 8 years ago now. I found a roll of film, and I was like, what is this? And they were like, I don't know. And the canister that the roll of film was in, it didn't even say Kodak or anything on it. It was old as shit. You could tell it was just old. Just no maker's mark or anything. And I was like, I'm going to get this developed on the off chance it's something cool. And I think I developed them myself. And the photos were all from when he was in Berlin in the 50s. And this photo was in there. And I didn't ever tell my grandma that this photo was in there because I knew they would be upset because they just like hide stuff like this. Like, grandpa doing anything not cool in their eyes. But this is the coolest pic.
Huge dildo collection. Yeah. He's pocket pussies.
It's just funny to see your grandpa as not this like stern old figure. There's also a picture of like his like, I guess his friend there. He has his arm around a girl and he's like grabbing her tit. Like she's wearing a sweater and he's just throttling it.
She's like,
she's like,
somebody from the
American GI came over here and is molesting me. No, she's smiling too. But I'm like, whoa, grandpa took a picture of some lady getting her tit grabbed. He's an actual dude.
Got like a gun on the back of her head. Yeah, that's awesome. I need to get more like physical photos because I saw something recently. I saw something on the internet, so it's got to be true, and it's going to happen where people are like, because I kind of think that I realized that I've just started this sentence like 5 times without ever actually getting into it. I'm sorry, I'm so fucked up right now. I'm going to grab a Celsius in a minute, just really try to brute force some power to my brain. I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm going to go why don't I go grab that now? I'm going to go think about whatever the hell I was going to say.
But you're back now. I was talking about, you were like, I haven't exercised or anything. I didn't exercise for 4 months. And then I just decided, I was like, I'm going to get back into it. And so I just picked up where I left off.
That's so dumb. so
I did
dumb.
my first like set of bench presses. I was like, holy shit. Like I felt like the earth was falling down onto me. I was like, that's not a good, so I had to dial everything back. But I went to go do squats and it was, I went down and I was like, there's no going back up. Like thank God I had the bars, the bars that keep you from getting crushed. But I realized I've been sitting now for like an hour and 10 minutes. When I went to go get up, I was like, my body is seized up. It's so sore. Like my back's sore, my ass is sore, my legs are sore.
There's nothing too to like keep you from now working out more. And then like, like it just feels horrible.
Even the pads of my feet are sore, if that makes sense. They haven't like bared that much weight in a long time. They're like my bottom of my feet are sore, which is odd.
I feel really motivated to get back into working out right now. You know, you just already feel stupid and bad every day. Imagine you're sore. Yeah, I tried to do some push-ups the other night and was just like, fuck.
Those are hard.
Lost everything. I've lost it all. I probably I want to go try to do some pull-ups, but I think I'd probably just rip my arms off and that feel really bad.
So pull-ups was my final frontier. That's what I was getting into. Because pull-ups are hard.
Yeah.
And it takes like a muscle to weight ratio, you know? And so since I've stopped working out, I got fatter and I lost muscle. So the pull-up is harder than it's ever
even
been.
Harder, yeah.
And I was up to the point where I could do like 3 sets of 4, you know, which isn't much. It's like 12 pull-ups.
I mean, it's decent, yeah.
And I went to go do one and it felt like my arms might get torn out of their fucking sockets. I was just like, screaming at the thing. So now I have to put up a little where there's things like a band, like a big rubber band that I like step on to help pull my fat ass up. Yeah.
Have I talked about this before? That kid that had like such bad ADD or ADHD in elementary school that they didn't fucking, you know, my school didn't know how to deal with that. They're just like, they just gave him like 2 huge rubber bands on both legs of his chair, and he would just put his feet in between him and just kick back and forth constantly. It was the fucking most annoying thing ever. But they'd be like, you can't get mad at him, like he needs it. And he'd just sit there and like
stim out.
Like kick, stim by kicking back and forth. And I was like, I want a rubber band. Like, it did look fun. Mm-hmm. And I'll always hate that kid for that. And I'll always bear that grudge.
Yeah.
And, he ended up killing himself a couple of years later because they took away the rubber bands. So he hung himself with the biggest rubber band ever. But he just kept bouncing up and down from this. Yeah, dude. I'm trying to riff now. riff now. It is disgusting that if I don't sleep like at least 8 hours. I mean, I've had now 2 Celsiuses I'm working on. Diet Coke.
You're gonna have a fucking heart attack. Like,
no, yeah, I'm gonna feel worse. But like,
there's only so much caffeine a human can get.
I can't brute force any more like brain power. It really makes me think of that. Do you see all that Twitter commentary recently about how like we actually have like a lot harder jobs than like 9-to-5s and stuff?
Us?
Yeah, like it's just like a lot more taxing. It was just like a blown up like I can't remember Hassan said like it's more social battery draining.
Uh-huh.
And then it blew up into like, unironically, I saw a lot of streamers, like even people we know, being like, it actually is like the hardest job I'll ever have or whatever. And then people being like, that's insane.
It's the most engaging job I've had.
Yeah,
I don't want to say hard because it's
also insane as a streamer to like type that out and hit send.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like, even if in your head you're like, this is the hardest job I've had.
Don't say it.
Don't say that. What are you doing?
I think it is the most engaging job I've had. Where like there isn't a lot of time where I go to work and I'm mindlessly doing something, if that makes sense.
Well, we also work 2 different jobs pretty heavily, like streaming versus like your YouTube channel.
Oh,
you do like a lot more editing and shit.
Yeah. And streaming.
I'm not very engaged
Actually, that was my gripe with streaming is while I was streaming, like when I was finished, I was like, I felt like I just wasted X amount of hours. Yeah. And now I could have just been working on something, making something good.
It is work. It's actually
the most difficult job there is.
It be the most difficult job it is when someone says a mean comment.
There is also a huge varying degree of the amount of effort people put into a stream. There's some streams where you say that and I could say, you're putting on like a production. I get that.
Yeah, no,
what you're saying has some merit. And there's some people that just turn on their stream and go like, we're playing fucking game right now. Minecraft stream.
Yeah. 90% of them. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's I don't do a production, so I can't have the
But if you
lack of
think
awareness
that I would, like, I'm overburdened and burn out on this, so I'm gonna go back to crawling under houses
I was gonna
and
say
shit.
also,
No, there's no way. That job
any one of those people that's like, this is the hardest job I've ever had. I'm like, you wouldn't trade it.
No.
There's no goddamn person that trade that job.
No,
like,
not in a million years.
all right, go back then. Go back then. Like, I just complain. I'm just a complainer.
Yeah.
And like, but with like, I mean, like I was saying with like, you don't type that out. Like with my IRL friends, when everyone's just like venting about like, oh boy, work was hard today. Like I know just to pipe out, even if I'm like, man, yeah, like stream sucked. Like I just, like no one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
In there, you know, even some of them, like their corporate jobs are genuinely like, two of them are just like they're like, hey man, I don't say anything either, because like their jobs are some of like the easiest 9-to-5s I've ever heard of. Like they might have even like a Bryan level, like they just kind of are like, oh, I'm waiting to have to do something, but like I'm playing video games until then.
Yeah.
And then we have friends where it's like they're kind of on call like at any point, which is weird for like this type of job. But yeah, like their manager will just message them at like 10 p.m. and be like, hey, you up? Like need you to work on. He's basically constantly working. It's driving him insane.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then, but it's like,
but he needs to remember,
so little work that you go insane is also bad.
It's not as hard as
not
our
worse.
job. So
yeah,
make sure to.
Well, our job also, it's like, look at these notes I took. I can't show them to you because there's some other stuff in here. But this is like 6 bullet points.
It's huge,
and that, like. It didn't end up taking up as much time as I thought it would, and also pushing back the main part of it. Didn't know, but like, look right here. I've got like backup. Like, I can still talk about that little door if I need to, and that's because I planned it out and like I've been working on it. I've been trying to get better at podcasting. This is one of the worst days I've ever felt mentally, but I've got my backup.
Yeah.
An idea for Bryan replacements. Where we run, or, well, a lot of people have been thinking like, oh, there's going to be Bryan replacements. Like, I want to be Bryan, blah, blah. I want to be Bryan. Maybe just a bit where we just have different people after. I don't want to spoil the next bit, but after the next bit, other people just send themselves like dressed up like Bryan, like a video of them for like, I don't know, 50 minutes, an hour. And we just put it in like different people. We have be Bryan for different episodes where they just basically don't talk.
Yeah.
Maybe they make some noise.
And the camera cuts to them every 5 minutes or whatever.
Like we really only need like 20 minutes of footage. Yeah. Or like 1 minute and we just keep reusing it.
Yeah.
But like there's a third person. It's like, it's more of like Bryan's an idea. Like any, you know, he's like a Spider-Man or something. Like anyone can be Bryan. Yeah. Like he didn't die for no reason because he is dead. But you're going to have to subscribe to the Patreon. Figure that one out. But I don't know. That's just another idea I have here. And we could probably riff on that for about 40 minutes if we needed to.
Well, that way we could just keep going. Like after a conversation or whatever, we'd be like, what do you think, Bryan? And then just cut to a random viewer doing their best Bryan impression.
When it's also like a new guest every time, basically. But it's really just all Bryan. And then Bryan eventually is going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the legality of it all or like what his standing would be in a court of law.
Well, a Canadian person can't sue a U.S. person.
I believe that. I believe that. I don't know enough about the
I don't
system.
know either, but I have a family member that would do that thing where they slip and fall in a place and then sue them. And she tried.
You've talked about her, like your aunt or something, or
and she busted her ass at the airport on purpose, and then realized she couldn't sue the federal government, which ran the airport or whatever. She's like, apparently you can't sue the government. I was like, I think you can, but not for like slip and fall cases. I don't think. But,
or my maybe hip doesn't hurt anymore. It's the federal government. Oh fuck.
I think she went to a bunch of lawyers and they're like, I'm not suing the United States of America because you can't stand on your own 2 fucking feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can also I can do like a lot of tricks and stuff. Now, I can recap MagicCon a little. Because I was in MagicCon for anyone super curious about what I've been up to. And my happenings.
This is a Magic the Gathering convention?
Yeah. One
Oh,
of the
we have a
worst
lot
weekends of my life.
We have a lot of friends that are into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, we do. But the conventions aren't as big as. I saw Lettuce. Lettuce was there. And I did actually run into one podcast viewer. So shout out to that guy. Very quickly learned, though, at these kinds of events, like, people aren't here to chat. People aren't here to, like, small talk with you. And a couple of incredibly awkward interactions where it's like, maybe I'm making it worse. Maybe also, just for it's like, what do you imagine a Magic convention's like? It's probably exactly like that. The smell. But also, I will say, like, I don't want to rag on, like, oh, these nerds, they're so nerdy.
Yeah.
And they really don't, like, how much butt crack can you see in one convention? How much, like, fupa spilling out from under the shirt? But it's also, like, they're so free there. You know, it's a place so free of judgment and so, like, literally, like, we are here to fucking play this game because we love it, that I found it hard to, like, be too judgy. I can try. I can definitely try. I can definitely get there.
Yeah.
But there was, like, a beauty in a lot of the, like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like, God, I would love to get to that level. Maybe not like that, this exact level, but like use that.
Well,
in a
there's
way.
that famous video of the guy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Where like after every turn he would do like a move. And he would like place down his card. You just activated my trap card. And he like put it down and stuff. It's like with that many theatrics and shit. And he knows the camera's on him. He's like, I don't fucking care, dude. I'm having a blast. It's like people like that.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah, you do. You know, that's somebody you would definitely fucking leg sweep and give a wedgie to in middle school. But
no,
as an adult, you look at him and go, that person's free.
No. I would be that person's friend, brother, lover, whatever.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny though when I got. It was at a massive convention center in Chicago, like probably the biggest convention center I've seen. And it's so big, in fact, that there's like multiple drop-off points for it, which I didn't know at first. And I got dropped off on the wrong point. And when I went in, I was like, why is everyone so, like, just, everyone looks like rich. Everyone looks like really well put together and, like, kind of beautiful. Like, everyone here is just, it's almost like I was in, like, Rivendell or something. And then I quickly realized I got dropped off at a dentist convention that was happening right next door. And, listen, I mean, I don't know what kind of shit they've been up to or like what technologies are being produced, but it was bigger than TwitchCon. Like it was a massive event. And I remember for a minute just thinking, why don't I just try to sneak into here? Like, why don't I just join Dentist Con? Because I know about as goddamn much as I do Magic. And then I'm like, nah, I gotta find my friend. And it was about a 15-minute walk in the building to the Magic Con. In like that, my first impressions of like being disarmed by Dentist Con and being like, you know, it's probably not like super nerd. I used to go to Gen Con in Indy, so like I knew kind of what to expect.
What's Gen Con?
It's just like for board games and like card games and shit. I think it's maybe just like it's just a general con or something. That can't be what it is, but it's a thing in Indy. Gotcha. And probably other places. And then, like, at one point I went over a bridge and it was like it was like magic. It was the transformation in people so effortlessly into like literally polar extremes of each other. I thought was pretty awesome. And I wish I was documenting it. And then I went into the convention and everything just was like, oh my God, there's just like thousands of people playing Magic at a very high level. I was pretty scared most of the time. Like, I felt like a girlfriend at TwitchCon kind of deal. Like, I found Lettuce after like, 30 minutes of looking for him. Just kind of stood behind him and was like, oh, is everything good? Like you having fun? No idea what's going on. Like, I let it be, ballsy of me is a nice way of putting it. Maybe it's hubris, maybe it's stupidity, but like my first time ever playing in person Magic and then going to like the biggest convention for it. Definitely pretty out of my element. Also, I was mogging hard. I was wearing a mock neck turtle. It was like probably my finest fabrics, dry clean only, and just a really beautiful jacket. And just like, mewing around the whole place. Did not make a lot of friends.
Just mewing
did
around.
Not make, did not make a lot of friends. I think there was something unappealing about me.
Yeah.
Coming with some aura.
Guy looks maxing at the fucking Magic Con.
There was an aura of just like something's wrong with this guy.
Pretension?
Like I just pretension, just like kind of like, yeah, this guy thinks he's better than us because his butt crack's all covered up, triple layered. Yeah. Like you're probably never gonna see this guy's butt crack ever, and he thinks he's better for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought
I'm on their side, yeah. If I look at someone and I say, there's like 0% chance I'm going to see this guy's butt crack. He looks great.
Yeah.
He's mewing. Yeah. No, you're in the wrong building, dude. Dentist convention is next door.
Dude, I was just like nervous. Like I was like actively nervous there. And I couldn't find beer to like even my keel.
At the Magic Con, you couldn't find beer?
I was freaking out, dude.
They're probably giving away Mountain Dews and shit. There's probably no beer there.
They had a fucking pretzel stand. This is just me bitching. Yeah. I went up and like, hey, pretzel with cheese. They're like, we're out of cheese, we're out of salt or whatever. Worst pretzel. I had to eat a pretzel this big with no cheese or salt on it.
You paid money for it?
Yeah, I was
How do
starving.
you run out of salt before you run out of pretzel?
I don't know.
I thought they came together. Less space.
I think the guy was just fucking with me because my mock neck, dude.
Yeah.
Get this twerp out of here.
Hoity-toity motherfucker out of here.
Or maybe there was salt and that made it worse. I don't remember. It was just like a barren. There was nothing to make it stick to it or something. There's no butter, nothing. It was just old pretzel.
Just sad pretzel.
And I just took that outside and was just sitting out there like, I'm going to fucking, this sucks. And I asked the guy next to me for... listen, I wasn't even drunk, so no excuse really, but I was nervous. Shocking amount of just like you go to the patio, everyone's just smoking cigarettes. There's also just a lot of like old Magic players because it's been around for so long. And there's a guy next to me. If he somehow listens to this podcast, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to air out your dirty butt crack, but he was just like, he was sitting directly next to me. I'm like, hey, man, like, you mind if I like, can I snag one of those or whatever fucking line I said. And he just like looked at me in the corner of his eye. Like, I didn't even notice he had like little headphones in. And he like gave me one. I'm like, yeah, thanks, dude. Like, you from around here? Like, you travel for it? And he just looked at me again and then like kept watching TikTok and did not make a word to me. And it was like my first person I tried talking to there. And I was like, okay, this is not going to be like, this ain't a bar. Okay. No. Like, this is going to be a lot harder to break through the walls of these people. I felt like the gorilla robot. And they can tell something's not right. Yeah. There's something robotic about me.
You had good time at TwitchCon. You thought you could assimilate into any convention.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, no.
Basically. No, I was robot crab. Like it was, I will say I had fun, but that was more just like general being in Chicago. Like it was one of my friend's birthdays. So
yeah,
I got to go to a little birthday party and I went to a casino, the one casino in Chicago, I guess. And my friend I was with, once again, not to air out any dirty laundry, man. Sorry if you hear this. It's not even any bad, but we were staggered behind the like birthday party group of like 20 and we get to the door and then the casino turned my friend away for signs of intoxication. And it was funny because they're like, have you been drinking? He's like, yeah, I mean, I had like 2 beers. Like I'm going to a casino. Like I'm not sober, like completely, but I'm not drunk. Like people are walking by us getting let in. They're like,
yeah, it's like
freaking out. Well, it's also, like who's starting at a casino?
Yeah, not only that, but like, imagine you run a casino. You want people that are belligerently drunk and doing insane bets.
Yeah.
I only want sober, cold, calculated bettors on my...
Are you sure you want to put this money down? Are you sure?
Sir, take a breathalyzer. You're about to bet way too much.
My friend has like a lazy eye. And I felt awful because like it's one of those things like no one like addressed. You don't like bring it up or whatever. But he asked the people. He's like,
I would. That'd be the first thing out of my mouth.
Well, and then I was even like, once he said it, I was like, hey man, like sorry if this comes off rude, but like I'm gonna double down with you to like try to make them feel bad to let us in. Because he was like, do you think like I'm really fucked up because like my eye, like obviously like it doesn't like look, and I was like, you guys aren't letting him in because he's like, it's just a lazy eye. Like he just has a crazy lazy eye. He's not drunk. I feel like my friends are like, hey, easy. Well, he's got like a fucked up fucking crazy eye. And they were like, sorry, you're like flagged in the system. And we went outside and two other guys, like one of their friends was like, I didn't get let in, hey. So it's just pretty quick. Like, hey, you guys want to form like a new coalition? Like we started a new party, went to a bar with them, really, really nice guys, except one of them worked at BlackRock, which I guess is like evil. Yeah. And then the other one I think I told you about this. I thought it was just funny because like I asked him what he did and he was like, he was clearly rich. I don't know. He even mentioned like, I can't go in the casino. Now my wife's going to lose like $2,000. Like, I'm not going to be there to stop her. I'm like, holy shit. I asked him what he did. And he's like, I'm a manager at McDonald's. Okay. Like, goddamn. Like, they like make tips at the McDonald's in Chicago. Like, I'm thinking like, how the fuck? It's also just weird for like, what is he like, Nepo baby? And he's working. Corporate McDonald's is in Chicago, I later found out. And he is like a manager in corporate McDonald's. Apparently a big pay difference.
Yeah.
But they were nice guys, but I got called out too for like the first time ever because when I'm like drunk with random, I don't know, like I love that side of me, but I also wake up the next day. I'm always like, oh my god, like why did I add like all these guys on Instagram? Why did I make plans with them? Why have I like done this? But I just become such a people pleaser, and this guy's like the first guy to ever call me out because his friend that worked at BlackRock was he brought up being a goalie. And I was just like, oh, man, like, goddamn, like goalie, the most thankless job in sports. Like, you're hoping your team's going to stop the ball. Like, it shouldn't even get to you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, people don't understand the mental that it takes to even, like, jump and let your body hit the ground. Like, jump, body hit the ground. It's a disconnect. Like, it's unnatural. And he's like, yes, somebody believe, like, you know what I'm talking about. And in my head, I'm like, I don't give a shit about goalies. Like, why am I even saying this? Like, I just want to make this guy feel good about being a goalie.
Yeah.
And his friend was like, you don't care about being a goalie. Like you should be a salesman, man. Like you don't give a shit. I'm like, of course I do. Like I care about being a goalie. And in my head, I'm like,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I'm like, holy fuck. It's like when a guy finds out, like another serial killer. It's like Dexter's a serial killer. Like, how does he know how does he know my game here?
Yeah.
I'm not looking to get anything out of it, but I felt very bare in that moment of like, guy.
What, someone peeling away your social tactics.
This guy just being like, yeah, this guy doesn't care about goalies. And then when I thought about him, like,
he's right.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I was
Is this corporate McDonald's guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He cut through the crap. That's why he's up in corporate HQ.
Works at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was funny though. It's good to get called out like that though, because it makes you.
Think about yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
It is nice, though, that you struck out socially at the convention. And then you turned around and had what seems like a good night. But that way the audience doesn't think. Because I feel like they think, oh, what the hell? Like, does poop just do well in every social scenario?
Oh, no.
No. There are some L's.
No.
Every once in a while, you get an L.
I am like an incredibly awkward person, like most of the time. Really, like alcohol helps. I just like kind of turn on like it's like I'm wearing the Jim Carrey mask, and I get I turn into a real horn dog, go crazy. I'm like almost constantly overanalyzing like social situations where like even my friends be like, you played that so cool. Nah. Now there's like a war going on up here.
Yeah. That's when I know, by the way, I'm in a really bad headspace is when I have a social interaction and then I mull it over for like the next 3 hours.
I give myself a score.
Yeah. And I go like, did that, like I just relive that exact social scenario for hours. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not it. This is like anxiety ridden territory. I need to fucking work on myself or something.
I'm not in a good headspace. So that probably adds to it. But, yeah, MagicCon really helped though. Bring back my confidence. I went and I said, look, I'm king of the nerds. And they denied me. They said, be gone with you. Enough of this. Go to a casino.
Yeah.
And then I got denied from there too. So
yeah, it stinks.
I also don't think I don't know if that's true, that people watch this and are like, this guy cannot take L's. This guy's getting W's everywhere. I don't know.
I think
I think
more
it's easier
people,
to talk about the wins.
I think more people than you would care to imagine actually don't talk to a whole lot of people during the week.
Well,
on the average,
I've become that person.
Yeah.
As of late, I haven't been leaving the house. I don't know. I even go for groceries. I wear my headphones the entire time.
You're one of those people.
It's like,
what the hell?
Well, I'm becoming one of those people. Yeah, I don't know. I'm losing social flair. I mean, that weekend was the last time I've been truly out at the bar drunk. It was nice. It was funny too, because like my friend that lives in Chicago, the next morning I was like, hey dude, that was like a lot of fun. I'm like glad we still got to like, meet random people and like have a good night, even though we got separated from the group. And he's lived in Chicago for like 2 years. He's like, yeah, that was the first night I think since living here that I've just met random people and like had a night with them. I'm like, I feel like if I lived in a city like that, it would be every fucking night.
You say that, but like Aqua used to live in New York City. And I'm like, so what do you do? He's like, I just go downstairs and walk my dog and come back up to my apartment.
That's true. But like also, is that one of Aqua's pleasures? Like one of my pleasures in life is like meeting random people, and like kind of trying to dig into like, what makes you tick? And then they never see me again.
Acting like you give a shit about goalies and getting on their side.
Yeah, I guess it's like acting like I give a shit about goalie, like seeing for myself if I can like even hold a conversation about goalies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. It's not really like manipulation because like
you're not gaining
anything out of it. Yeah, I'm not like trying to be like, all right, now you buy me a
fake friendship you get out of it. You get momentary friendship.
Well, I don't know if it's like, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do that with some of my real friends, though, when they're talking to me about League of Legends or something. I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that. I think it's more like also like courtesy, but it's like amped up courtesy where it's maybe does become like, what the hell am I even talking about? Like what?
Yeah. By the way,
I
think
shit on goalies.
Speaking of League of Legends, now it's your time to act really engaged about League of Legends talk. I think like 3 episodes ago, we were talking about how we were getting back into League.
Yeah.
I was loving it, having a great time. I had forgotten the lowest my friendship ever got with Bryan was when we were playing League. That's where we butt heads.
So that's why he's fired.
Yeah.
I mean, dead, if you're a public listener.
Because, he's hypercritical of how your lane's going. And when at the beginning, when everybody's walking to the respective... Watching. Yeah. When everybody's walking off to their respective lanes and I'm going to top... that lane's not gonna get one with me up there. I usually just barely break even. I am getting hell from him all the time. He's like, oh, you're not there looking at the void grublets at a certain amount of time, or like keeping track of when putting the ward on Herald. It's like I feel like some of this is outside of my scope of work as a top laner. I'm supposed to just sit up here like an asshole by myself, farming and making sure the other guy doesn't get fed. Anyways. I end up getting yelled at almost every game. And now I'm like, I hate League now. I've done a fucking 180. It's the worst game I've ever played in my fucking life. And then we played like URF. And I was like, oh, URF's fun. Yeah. URF is fun for 2 games. And then you realize that they don't give you enough bans to get rid of the assholes of the game.
Yeah.
URF is
But also horrific. It's like nice because like anyone has potential on it.
But there's some people that have way more
complaining
potential.
Like that person's they've got their Q every 1 second. I'm like, wait, I do too. Like I've got my ult every 10 seconds, like it's just kind of they're just better than me. And now they're hyper better than me.
Yeah.
Like it just exacerbates.
The scales are tipped even further.
Also, like I feel like normally in URF, like it's a lot harder to have like a comeback. Like once shit is set, it's pretty set.
Yeah.
We had some like incredible
long games.
Like long games where we end up winning, which was pretty shocking. It was nice. I haven't played anything with Devin in forever.
Yeah. You say it's fair because everybody's sped up. He was playing Karthus and just ulting like every 25 seconds on the dot. It's just like there goes a quarter.
Some people are definitely like way more annoying. Like I play Anivia because she's annoying, but she's not necessarily
broken.
Really, she's not broken.
No.
And now since you told me that I can stop my friends from backing with walls, I do that like once a game, and people just get so mad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even funny to some of my friends. They'll just be like, seriously, fuck you. Like, I had to cancel my back too to use that. Like, I'm not going anywhere. But it is pretty funny. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's an enjoyable
when someone really yells at you for it, you'd be like, okay, fine. I won't play Nivea. Then you play Trundle, and you can do it with the Trundle fucking ice dick thing that he makes. You can do the exact same thing.
He got hit by the Bartalt while backing after I walled a guy. I didn't even know that was a possibility. There's a lot of ways to fuck with your team in that, which is fun. Oh, the wall, it's like I can really just keep you from running. I can keep you in my world.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm trying to think. Wow, it's like it's unlike me and uneventful that I went to entire convention. Really have like nothing of note to talk about except for I met a guy that works at McDonald's and I lied. And a guy that I asked a cigarette for was kind of weird at a Magic convention. These are my reports. Yeah. These are my things of note. If they had beer at that convention, I'd have a different story.
Dude, I'm sorry that just I'm not into Magic at all.
I mean, so. I like also kind of a faux pas there to be like, I play the Steam version. I play Arena because it's like everyone there is like.
I feel like I would have a better time at like a tabletop convention and not specifically Magic. It's too laser focused for me, personally.
I also like Lettuce. Everything I did, he's like, oh boy, like you. I used the wrong sleeves to sleeve my cards. Then I was like, fuck, my other deck doesn't even have sleeves. And then like while I'm shuffling, all my cards are getting like, all the edges are like rubbing off. And he's like, oh, like Christ. Like, people don't do that.
Why does it matter?
For longevity of the card.
I would just raw dog my cards. Yeah.
Well, some people have like, he has a deck that's like a $2,000 deck or something, or people have like really expensive decks, so it's like they're really even particular about like, don't touch this, don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really overwhelming. Like I was wildly. Also, this is another just. Hey man, the lighting was awful. You walk in that convention.
Overhead fluorescence, the entire.
Overhead fluorescence, like 50 feet above you, and about 1 trillion of them, and you're sitting there in a room of 1,000 people.
1,000 butt cracks.
Yeah, I'm like, if you dim the lights just a little, I would see half as many butt cracks.
So hold on, I'm trying to close my eyes here and imagine the situation.
Imagine a big hairy butt crack and
just you sitting there pretentiously with your turtleneck, no butt crack hanging out.
Neck. It's about a half length of a turtleneck.
Criticizing the lighting of a convention. The lighting here is harsh.
Well, I was in like such a good mood going into it. Like everything like just went just as I dreamed and expected. So when I got there, I was just like, oh, I'm in the big city. No, I had a horrible week leading up to that. So then you just throw me into shark waters. These the meanest guys ever. Everyone like that Lettuce's friends there were super nice actually.
Yeah.
And pretty like everyone warned like there are fucking weirdos here that are like super they will like be assholes because you're new or whatever, but like we're cool. And then I like went out to dinner with them and was like, oh. I mean, this is just like no shit. Like it's a Magic convention, but like all they talked about was Magic.
Oh yeah.
And then I just like already don't really know what's going on. And then when all you talk about is
that's why honestly, like there's a lot of Tarkov people that I like. And there's a lot of like Rust creators that I like. But if you go hang out with the Rust crew at a convention or the Tarkov crew, all they fucking talk about is the game. I'm like, dude, we're here. There's bars here. Yeah. There's stuff to do.
There's Shirley Temples.
There's Shirley Temples here, dude. You don't need to talk about a video game.
Yeah.
Because I view games, call me crazy.
Like this game?
Yeah. Call me crazy. I view games as just a medium that I can socialize with friends. Like
I don't exclusively.
Not exclusively, because I do play some single player games, but like
I've been playing a lot of single player lately.
I like to just socialize with people through a game. I'm not I don't
that's
sit there
fair.
and like think about the ammos that they're adding to a game. That's insane talk.
You'd probably be better at the game.
I would be better
if you
at
cared
the
about
game.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. My channel
Also,
would be
what's-
doing
and
better,
what-
I think, because when I actually gave a shit about the inner mechanics of the game is when my Tarkov videos were at their most popping, because people were like, yes, ammo. Like,
Something there. The more that you care
yeah.
and effort you put in, the better. I lost it.
No.
Something was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I forget. I forget.
What were you-
But anyways,
Hold on,
you want to hear some serious shit? Because you were talking earlier about an investing faux pas you made. And I feel like I have a better one. For those of you that haven't looked, Bitcoin.
Let me just check again.
Bitcoin's big. All right, Bitcoin's up. I sold. Finally, I had like 6 years ago, I bought like in 2017 or whatever when it was at its peak. I bought, and then it came crashing down. And I just sat there like an asshole for a long time. It never came back. Recently, it has resurged to the point where I made a profit. Awesome. Now, Nvidia is up, and I was like, oh, I got to get in on Nvidia. So I dumped some money. I took my Bitcoin money, and I put it in Nvidia, right? But I was looking at the history. Like, you can see trading history for individual stocks. I bought $10,000 of Nvidia stock in 2020.
What?
And then I sold it in 2021.
We could be rich. That's all.
That is the kids' fucking college funds and shit would be more than a house paid off, the whole nine.
I mean, how much? Well, was it like $40 then? $50? Like
I don't know.
$100?
Hold on. Let's see. Calculator.
And you sold it in 2021?
Yeah.
Oh,
I sold
For
it
what?
because
Like a quick...
okay. So at the time, I was like, hey, the only thing I knew Nvidia for was making graphics cards for mining, and I was like, the stock price is only relevant because the amount of people farming Bitcoin, and I was like, eventually Bitcoin's going to crash again. And so when Bitcoin started to crash, I was like, I'm going to sell my Nvidia stock, because if once the Bitcoin crashes, then the need for mining equipment's going to go down, right? And so I sold it for a profit. I didn't think AI was around the corner. I didn't know about that. So
you're a stupid asshole, and you should have been rich as hell right now.
Yeah, it's gone up. Okay, so the stock has gone up like 1,800 to 2,000% since that time. What was 2,000% increase on $10,000? $4 or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Those are really complicated numbers put together. A lot of zeros on those.
Yeah.
So that makes it even harder, right?
It does. It's a lot of money.
Mine is like, I've done well on Nvidia from Muscle Bust like 2 years ago. I think it was Muscle being like,
buy Nvidia. Buy Nvidia.
Buy Nvidia. And now it's just the classic. It's like, oh, why? Oh, bother. Why didn't I do more so that I could like buy something awesome?
Yeah.
Like Swift just sent me the other day for like, I think it's $6,800. You can buy the fucking Austin Powers movie prop of him frozen in the gel.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Imagine if I just had that right here. Also, listen, I'm trying not to use that bidding site anymore just because, like, financial integrity. But they're selling a fucking TukTuk that's been cut in half and turned into a bar.
What do you mean?
Like one of those little, like, TukTuks.
What's a TukTuk?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. The little, okay. I know what these are.
Yeah,
these things rock.
Like the front of one turned into a bar, kind of.
Oh, I just want one of these. These things.
I mean, I would take the full thing.
For the audience. A TukTuk is basically a Vespa that you can carry people in the back of. It's like a Vespa with a couch on the back.
Yeah,
Like
I wonder how expensive just like an actual used TukTuk is versus this half of one.
Yeah.
Well, it's like really only like an eighth of one. It's just the very front.
These look cool, but I feel like they would roll so quick. you try to take like a quick corner or whatever, but
You just put your foot down.
that's. I feel like your leg would get caught underneath it, and it would.
Well, then you're not built to drive a TukTuk, okay?
Yeah, I'm not TukTuk certified.
Dude, what the fuck are they? They've got like.
It's
when you look up TukTuk for sale, they've got like.
It's funny.
They're getting into like super TukTuk territory that I don't know how to.
This one is like you paint it green.
Just that.
You paint it green, all of a sudden it looks like a badass like army mobile.
I was gonna say this one just looks like a little tiny semi truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I've seen a couple that are like food trucks.
Yeah, that's not what they're. I mean, can a Vespa power that?
I don't know.
Can you take that thing on the highway?
I'm assuming, dude, these don't go any faster than like 25 miles per hour. They're for like inner city, just hanging around.
Warfare.
Yeah, inner city warfare. This one, I found a TukTuk that just has a bicycle tire for the front tire. Okay, so like, I don't think these aren't supposed to go too fast. But these,
I mean, this would be if you lived in the burbs, picking up your friends in a TukTuk. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, as a kid, I would have loved to have one of these. Oh, dude, some of these are dope. Like a little curtain in the back so you have some privacy. Yeah, these rock.
Yeah, the only TukTuk I ever have is when I tuck my penis in between my legs. And
were you a flip up or a flip to the side kind of guy when you were trying to hide a boner?
If I tried to flip it up, you'd see it poking through the top of my fucking shirt, okay? And if I flip it to the side, there's just not enough room.
You tuck it down into your sock.
I don't know. I never really knew. Because like, you tuck up. Like, what happens if you tuck up and then you're like, and someone just sees your penis sticking out of your pants?
Well, the tuck up is also dangerous, too, because, you go to, I don't know, if you, like, do any sort of jostling, like, it's very likely it could just
break your penis off.
It could just, like, pull its way up and out of your waistband, and then your cock is just full exposed to the world.
And hard.
Yeah, and hard. Yeah. Which is how I would want to, if I was to expose myself to anybody, I don't want to do it soft.
Guys, if you ever see my soft penis, no, you fucking didn't.
Yeah.
Let me prove it to you. Let me get hard and re-show you.
Ladies, if you ever see my soft cock, that was not an intentional.
Most women never do.
Yeah, I'm not.
They don't even know it can get soft.
That's an accident, okay? If you seem like, if I'm intending you for to see it, it's hard. It's probably got oil on it or something.
In Shogun, they talk about like your 3 hearts a person has, and like the third heart's like your most secret, like your true self. You never show it to anyone because you can like get killed. Showing my soft penis to someone is like showing the most bare part of my essence.
Is that like the version of the faces where it's like you have the face that you show your family and the face you show your world?
It's literally the same, yeah.
And the face that you don't show anybody.
They might even say face in the thing, but I think 3 penises. You have your soft penis, your hard penis, chub.
Yeah.
And
you have the penis you show your family, and then you get the penis that you show the world. And then the penis that nobody sees except for yourself is the soft one.
Yeah. The mirror shot penis. Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Are you crying?
Yeah.
Why won't you get hard?
You look like a little thumb. I think I never tucked, really. I would just always try the binder. Like
the binder, in front of the,
Yeah, like, hey,
classic.
What's up? Now I'm just holding this binder this way.
Yep.
And
hoodies were big because you could put your hand in the hoodie pocket and just grab your dick and mush it down with your hands.
Just jerk off. And I put a hole in my hoodie and then
inside of the hoodie and put it into the thing with me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was always just so terrified that I'd have to like present something
while you're bonered
I had
up.
Like random boner.
Yeah.
I don't think that fear will ever like completely leave.
No, I don't think it does. And not only that, but like there was a clothing, what is that called? A uniform that you had to wear in middle school where you had to have your shirt tucked in and a belt on. And I'm like, you guys are making it real hard during like the prime years of accidental boners for us to hide our accidental boners. Like, why do we have to tuck our shirts in? Which is why the hoodie.
Catholic school?
The hoodies were so popular. No, there was a big drug problem and gang problem in my school. So they were like, That way kids can't have shivs and stuff.
So the priests can see your penis is tucked up, popping out your shirt. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, we never had like any dress code like that, but I also didn't have a lot of baggy clothes. I think I just spent like basically like 5 years of my life like in a constant state of like flexing everything I can because I read something once that got rid of boners because there's blood going to like where you're like
in reality you're flexing your cock. Dude, it's harder than ever.
Dude, no, sometimes it felt like I supercharged it, like where I'm like trying to like flex my legs. I'm like, oh no, it's gotta hit the boner before it gets down there. And I'm just like push against my jeans, and people would be like, well, you're like ripping. What's that ripping? You know how hard it is to rip denim off? We were talking about this the other day because
your zipper in your pants is coming apart.
I got in like a really I'm just heated argument with one of my friends where like we're cool now, but then later that day my friends were talking about like, dude, I would not want to fight that guy. I'm like, I'm not gonna fight him. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, I'm not gonna fight. Like, we're just exchanging words. We're both we get heated quick. And then one of my other friends that like is never in Discord is like, yeah, I fought him once. Like in elementary school, I fought him, and he like completely ripped a leg off my jeans, and I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's impossible. Like, were they ripped jeans? He's like, no.
Were they Walmart jeans? Like, were these Levi's or
we
something?
got in this scrap, and he like got on me and like ripped like one of my jean legs off. I was like, I'm gonna call him right now and just like clear the air and be like, I'm so fucking sorry. Cause like there's no way a third grader with the strength of like a third, fourth grader can rip.
That's like tearing a phone book in half. Yeah, that's an
insane
insane amount of
now
strength.
He's a full grown man.
What, he roll up a frying pan afterwards? Like one of those.
He's always had this like ragey strength where it's like everyone's like, nah, I wouldn't fight that guy. But like, if that's true, if he really somehow ripped denim clean off, just grabbed it and ripped it off. I mean, could be one of the strongest people ever. Like, I'm not by no means interested in even being in a verbal altercation anymore.
Yeah.
With that guy.
I know I told you.
But we called him Gene the Ripper after that, and that was pretty awesome. But sorry, awesome.
I think I told you after a podcast, but did I say this on the show? Was it when I threw a punch and then I pulled my punch and I looked like an asshole?
Oh, wait.
I don't think I said that on the episode. I think I said it afterwards.
Well, that's the awful thing is like we normally like end them and then
keep talking.
And it's just podcast talk, and then we never know what the fuck we. Okay, sorry, but
I think I have awesome not punch. Salt. You can cut this out, but this is my lowest moment I think ever at school, and everybody had Etnies. They were super popular. It's a skate shoe with like a little E sideways on it. Everybody had Etnies, and my mom wouldn't bring me to PacSun because she was like, PacSun's too expensive. We ain't going there. So she brought me to like Walmart, and I got some like Walmart skate shoes, which didn't look like Etnies at all. And they
sucked ass.
They sucked ass.
I probably would have beat the shit out of you if I saw you wearing those.
And they had like big ass Osiris tongues on them, but the Osiris tongues were flat. These tongues, it was full. It was like a fucking throw pillow that my laces were behind. And
probably really comfy.
They were super comfy, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were just like some no-name shit brand. And I went to school with them. This was middle school. And I remember like everybody, like one of the popular kids, who's now a cashier at Hot Topic, so fuck you. He was like, oh, Sam's got like off-brand shitty shoes on. And like everybody was like, ha ha! He doesn't have Etnies or Airwalks or whatever is big right now. And I remember like, oh, dude, I felt like shit. And I look over and my friend Charlie is like laughing with them at me. And I'm like, Charlie? Like that hurt more than it. Because me and this Steve kid, we didn't even like each other. But like, Charlie, you too? You're going to laugh at me in my moment of everybody shitting on me? And so I was like so mad that he was laughing, and he kept like adding to it. I went to go throw a fucking punch at him. And in between
and Sam's mom pays me to be his friend. He's a fucking loser.
In between me throwing the punch and the punch landing, I just had that moment realization of just like, what are you doing? Like, what? You're about to throw a punch in front of everybody at somebody that's your friend for just because he's like laughing at you and making you feel like shit. Like, this isn't like I had that moment of clarity. So then I pulled my punch. And so then my punch just landed on his face and his head didn't move at all. He looked like Terminator. And he looked so awesome in front of everybody just eating. And I looked like even more of a pussy. I don't even have etnies and I can't punch. I punch like a fucking noodle arm Melvin. And then I ran away crying. And that was basically like the worst day I've ever had at school. I don't even know. I still am in contact with Charlie. And I want to kind of message him and see, like, do you remember when I just like punched you?
Just so you know, I did. I held back, and that's why it didn't hurt.
It was 100% of my effort, and you didn't move at all. Do you remember that? It probably, you know what's funny?
Yeah, it was the coolest moment of my life. It's the best day ever.
I was about to say, embarrassing moments like that are probably only big for you. Like they don't remember. And but it would be funny if he did say punched, that. He was like, hell yeah. I remember that. You punched me. It felt like nothing.
I was in a 5-way after that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anything that embarrassing happen to me at school.
Really?
That led to me running off crying.
If like Abby had seen that, I bet you we would not be married to this day. Like, she was at school. I don't think she was there yet or something.
I'm wrapping my head around. I mean, and also, Stalt, feel free to cut this because I feel like last time you told this, I was like, and that makes me think of.
Yeah.
But I maybe talked about it on the podcast. But my mom made me wear like these fucking, I've talked about this very recently, fucking baseball looking Italian shoes once. And she's like, they're nice. Like, they're really nice shoes. Like, men are wearing them in Italy. I'm like, okay, well, I live in like shitty part of Indiana. It's like, I'm sure it's like kind of like, maybe I'm ahead on the fashion. And every time I looked at them, like, they look like a baseball mitt. My mom's like, no, it's like what they're wearing over there. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll try them. Like, one time I'll wear them to school.
What the fuck does some lady in Indiana know about what they're wearing in Italy?
It's with the shoe sales. It's what, some Al Bundy fucker told her at the store. They just made up on the spot. And
she got like, roped in at Foot Locker.
$150, like, leather shoes. Like, you know how much I'd kill for her to have just bought me, like, a pair of fucking Nikes? Yeah. Like, I don't know. And I wore them to school, and, like, the whole day I'm like, like, tucking my feet kind of underneath the desk.
Yeah.
And the fucking, he might listen. I know he's listened to some of them. Now, this guy that I like, my friends are, like, I'm cool with him. But I'm just going to be honest with him. At this time, he had like very low social standing and he lacked confidence. And he called me out. He was the only person to do it. And like Melvin called me out, and he was like, oh, look at Sam. He's got like the Jesus Force Ones on or something. Like, oh, he's ready for the rapture. And, I mean, I wanted to run. I wanted to cry, but I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, they're big in Italy, like you guys just aren't ready for them. And then the rest of the day, I like had my feet crossed with like jacket, like down on my knees, like wouldn't let them I never wore them again. He totally won. And I don't think they've ever come around to being cool. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a
I've
time
never heard of like an outside stitched baseball glove shoe.
I mean, they look just like, I got to find those shoes. I do remember.
They just bowling shoes? They just sound like incredible. Bowling shoes.
The bottom of them had like lipped like rubber, whereas like your footprint looked like almost like that of a
T-Rex
mysterious creature. Yeah.
It left triangle.
Well, they were just wildly uncomfortable too. Like there's really nothing good about
you've
them.
Given multiple descriptions of these shoes and I still can't weave together a mental image.
There's no, I really don't even think it'd be worth trying to Google because I'm sure a guy made these shoes once and was like, we got to get rid of these. We got to unload these.
10,000 were made in Italy. Yeah. They weren't selling there, so they shipped them to Indiana.
So them at goddamn anywhere you can on the street. Oh, how's it going? Yeah, we got one kid out there wearing them, and he got bullied by the nerdiest dude in school. And he's probably gonna kill himself. So back it up. Yeah, I mean, they're good shoes if you want your kid to kill themselves eventually. If you want your kid to like what confidence he has mounted up to be crushed so swiftly.
Yeah.
Send
You
him to
either
school
buy
and-
him those Italian shoes or buy him some fake etnies or whatever the hell.
Yeah. Problem is, I don't look like a cool Italian guy at school. Like, I'm not. Like, you look at this male model, he's wearing them. Not really looking at his feet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Looking at bulge, which I lack severely. Mom, you don't get it. I've got no bulge. I can't wear these shoes. I definitely, I mean, I have them somewhere at my mom's house, so I'll have to pick those up. I probably talk about that on the podcast. I mean, every time it's fresh. Even that guy, I even probably talk about this too, but like that guy since has been like, I feel like Sam has a problem with me. And I've always been like, I don't think I do.
It's
and then
just like
every
a
time I remember
venting
that story,
podcast where we're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Every time I remember that story, I'm like,
Fuck that dude.
I'm trying not to be a grudge bearer though. Yeah, this is awesome. Two fucking nerds. Those guys are mean to us. It's like Revenge of the Nerds, but like we didn't win at anything. Like I didn't get any better at anything. My shoes still suck.
Hey, we're just two guys doing the hardest job in the world.
It is true. We are doing dirty jobs now. We're doing America. You know how tired I was a couple hours ago before I had 700 milligrams of caffeine? You ever had to wake up at noon?
You
fucking
hear
pussies?
your heart beating in your ears. You've had so much caffeine.
I feel good. Our pay pigs don't know a goddamn thing about hard work. You comment your hardest job you've ever had right now.
Half these guys are like doing actual fucking jobs. You remember the therapy episode? They're like, I work 50 hours a week driving.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. We need to get on our like LA shit, dude. We need to lose all semblance of like, yeah, I do. Still have like a memory of a job that wasn't this. So like I have a little bit of perspective. We need to be getting on our collab mindset or just kind of like, this shit ain't easy.
The high and mighty.
Content a lot of nights.
Yeah.
If it leads to a path of me, if I can be sitting here in a full outfit made of the finest Italian leathers and I look like I'm wrapped in a big baseball mitt, I will lose. I'll lose it all. Like I don't need to be the guy that, that's relatable anymore if I've got a suit like that.
I don't think we're relatable in any sense.
I'm relatable to a very specific type of guy that's lived almost my exact life. I'm
small town Indiana guy.
Yeah, that's now not like
no. I don't
job.
think anybody is like we're relatable in any way.
I don't. Well, I guess I don't. Yeah, really truly know what we offer then, but that's not a good thing. I mean, we offer a lot. Yeah, I shouldn't look too deep within. I'm pretty relatable to like the working man.
Maybe
that then won the lottery job wise and doesn't work like a job.
I figured we are relatable to just like pessimistic, the downtrodden nerds that have a revenge arc on the horizon.
That's not what I always. It's not really.
This is the place where everybody comes and listens, and they go, "Someday, it will be my turn.
One day I will own this place." Type of people.
Type energy.
Okay.
That's what I want to cultivate because those people. I don't want to have the LA crowd because those people think that they're it. They're there. They're at the destination. I want an audience of people that they know the destination's on the horizon. That's called ambition. Those are the people you could mobilize and get some
paradise.
Yeah, El Gaib or whatever. El Gaib.
As written.
Yeah.
Lisa El Gaib.
Yeah. That's what I want. I want people that are like, right now life sucks, but in the future I have grand schemes. Because that's my current that's my current life kind of outlook right now.
Sucks right now. Yeah.
No, it doesn't suck. It's just like I always have long-term goals. You always
want to go further.
I have like long-term goals, and then I'm not good at setting the mid to short-term goals that lead me up to that. It's just like on the horizon, I'm gonna at some point do blank, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And moving towards
I'm not good at setting up goals.
Yeah.
Short, medium, long. Like goals. I'm not good at setting up. Like
what's something you want to do in 10 years? In 10 years' time, what's something that you're like, I want to do that at least by the time I'm 35, right? You're 25?
Well, let's see. What kind of spiteful revenge arc do I want to go on nerd-wise? Maybe like be at a Magic Con and be like
The
really
coolest
good
guy?
at playing.
The coolest
Yeah.
Where you walk
No,
in
the
with your
nerdiest
turtleneck
guy.
and everybody's...
I walk in, my entire dick and balls and butter out, and I am stinking up a room from a mile away, and I don't care. I like to get to the point where
and
I'm
people
like
are
secure
clamoring to play you.
up here. Sure, even that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to, realistically, 10-year arc.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to maybe be a homeowner or maybe have some like animals that I tend to or something.
Animals.
Like I'd like to have maybe a weird variety. I've always had a weird variety of animals around me growing up. So maybe a couple random animals.
I want a chicken coop.
I'd like to, I think I'd like to be rich. I think that's like pretty much everyone. But
a lofty goal.
I think it's that champagne taste, beer budget. I think I'll be happier when because I'm basically middle class now, which is cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be awesome to just be like really rich and make like a ton of money and like be able to buy like when I get those TikToks for like this mid-century modern like beauty marvel home. Probably just buy like a couple of those, probably like a jet skis.
Dude,
and I'll probably just be happy.
How pimped out was that house that I sent you?
Just every time I see something like that, or
guys,
like,
if in the audience there is a house in town that if one of you buys it, I'm gonna skin you alive.
Yeah, if one of you guys buys it, finder's fee for Sam.
Yeah, I will kill.
Down to me.
Well, actually, I won't kill you, but if you buy it, you have to let me at least come over and see the place.
We get to record podcasts there.
Yes, at least one podcast. It's
a month.
2520 North Meridian Road, Tallahassee, Florida 32303. Look it up on Zillow.
Right next door to Sam's house.
Yes, right next door to me. If I lived next door to that place, I would just break in and just hang out in there, just stand in the living room. That place is awesome. The kitchen is awesome. Everything about it rocks. It's $1.3 million though. So if we all pool our money together, we might be able to get a mortgage on it.
I wonder if I can find. Oh fuck! I was looking at like listings in Chicago like 2 months ago or something with my friend, and we found this place that's the ultimate like full rooftop beauty. I mean, that's what I really want enough money for, just like to buy like crazy rent at a place and just like ball out for a year. And then like have to sell all my oddities and trinkets and everything and probably just like totally burn out after that, like move back in with my parents. But just like a crazy year of like exuberance and like no lessons learned.
And take lots of pictures so that when you move back in with your mom, you have those photos up on the wall and you can cry about it.
What have I done?
Yeah. The skyline in the background, ladies.
Yeah. Wow, just like more the skyline, just like beautiful skyline, just views everywhere. It's got a garden up top that's just magnificent, but I can't even remember where I was going with that. But that house, and then I saw another apartment later that was like much more reasonable price range, and out its living room window, you can see my dream apartment, and I'm like, if I lived there, I would not have a good night's rest.
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm too envious of a person. That's another thing I need to work on. But like, I would just sit there and be like, oh! Like every day, like every time they're like not there for like weeks at a time. Because if you can afford that place, it's probably not your main place, you know, type of deal. I'd just be like probably creeping out, like looking,
You'd be one of those people with a telescope inside their apartment looking up at that window. Yeah.
I'd kind of be, like the Great Gatsby, but like not, because they're all, who's the people in the shitty town in Great Gatsby that like the rich people? I don't know. I'd definitely be a cretin, I guess. I don't know if that's the way to put it.
That
What
movie,
cretin is.
that Great Gatsby, it's got weird messages about class in there. Where like the good guys are the rich guys. Like all the way they go traipsing through the shitty places is funny to me. They just go blasting through.
They blast through there and like pick up a hooker that's married to a guy there, and then like blast her
fucking
into
take
the
a shit
city.
on the sidewalk, then roll out.
Like bang the shit out of her, like throw her on the curb, and then blast out. Yeah, it's like kind of ultimate. Like,
and they're like,
setup.
these are the good guys. These guys rock.
Are there like? Is anyone a good guy but like Nick in that? Like I don't really know.
I don't know, but the lady that he's after, God.
Woo, Gatsby?
Yeah, what a bitch. I don't know.
What's her name? Oh, yeah. Well,
Name's like Penny or something. Daisy or
even
something.
the cousin at one, yeah, Daisy, I think. Yeah. Even the cousin at one point's like, these aren't real fucking people.
Yeah.
These are just like, these bitches are crazy. And it's like, yeah, you know, everyone knows someone like that where you're like, something not real.
Yeah.
There's something not connecting here. But also probably really fun to party with. You know, I'd probably be over at that mansion all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because his mansion's even better than Gatsby's. I just rewatched this movie like a month ago, or I'd have nothing to go on here. Even Nick's house, really just like pretty charming little cottage.
It is, yeah. Wait, is Daisy's husband's mansion better than Gatsby's?
It's bigger. I don't know if it's necessary. Well, I think so, because I think like when they do one of those panovers, I remember being like, wow, this place is, they show Gatsby's like, oh, this is big. And you go over there and it's like, oh, this is like old money big.
Yeah. It's like a different.
Any Gatsby fanatics in the comments,
Gatsby's
feel
more
free,
of an
free
upstart.
to. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his parties are better.
That's for sure.
But the other house is bigger and they play like polo in the yard. So it's like, I don't know. I'd probably, if I was in that world, I'd have to really decide what kind of rich partier I want to be.
Yeah.
It's tough.
The scene that always kind of stood out to me was the ending scene where they have the final meltdown where Gatsby is confronted by Daisy's husband. And they're in like that sun-drenched like little smoking room or something like that, all hanging out. And it looks so hot in there. They're
in their apartment in New York or whatever.
Everybody's sweating, and there's like fans that are on, but they're moving so slow. There's no way they're moving any air. Yeah. I just remember looking at those going like, damn, dude, you can't turn those fucking things up. Like, everybody looks like they're kind of hot in there.
Can't even do like Darth Vader voice in those fans. Like, what the fuck? This sucks. Yeah. I mean, I think they were pretty hot and heated in there. Things are good now. I think Nick's actually got the perfect setup, though, of like low rent to you're directly next door to a house where there's parties going on all the time. You don't have to host. You don't have to clean up or anything. Yeah. Just get to go over like when you want.
I don't want to be Gatsby. I just want to be friends with Gatsby. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
like Nick, like Tobey Maguire.
Dog that just walked by.
Tobey Maguire, who does like kind of like an awful job in that movie, but also I love him so much.
What does he do
I would
for a
never
living?
say that
In the movie.
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Like his character?
Yeah, his character.
He's a writer, I think. Isn't he like writing The Great Gatsby or something? I don't know. He's like,
and they all act like he's like poor, and I'm like, he's got a nice ass house.
He's also cousins with that chick that's like over there. I'm like, I feel like their family's probably doing fine.
So they just give him like a stipend.
I would go. Well, those are my cousins.
Dude, the 20s were insane. Everybody just had money to give to their failed writer cousins.
But also, it's like, you know, we've talked about this a trillion times, but is there really enough to do back? Like, you have $1 billion then, like, you kind of run out of things to do. I'd feel like pretty. After you get into like animal torture and like making man fight other man, it's like, what
else you got?
You know, you start to exhaust.
Yeah.
There's no like jet skis.
Well, at least it's post-industrial revolution. Like, people talk about the insane wealth that like Mansa Musa had. And it's like, dude, he lived in like so long ago. He had no air conditioning. You can have all the gold in the world.
Probably had like carpet though, and like
maybe
drapes. Pretty cool.
Drapes?
Like pretty baller.
I would rather just live in today with the internet.
I'd rather live in the goddamn future. And whatever they got, whatever VR I can just go suck myself into. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, would you rather though? Would you rather be this is really like a high level question. A poor man today or a rich man back then?
That's an easy question. I'd rather just live now. There's no way, like, your life, even as a poor person, I think your life expectancy is anticipated to be greater than even like a rich person 100 years ago.
Yeah, who wants to live
you know,
forever?
You get a colonoscopy like 50 years ago was horrific. My grandma told me, she was like, man, I didn't like colonoscopies. I can't even say it. And then they started letting you have anesthesia. And I was like, wait, you just raw dogged that? Damn, dude.
They'd open me up.
Yeah, she was like, they wouldn't put you under. They wouldn't do anything. They would just fucking cram rods down your ass. I'm like, shit, dude.
When do you have to start getting those as a man?
No, I've been begging my doctor, but he's like, you gotta wait till you're 40. Whatever, doc.
You gotta wait till you're in the doctor's office, man. Stop asking me.
Yes, I'm calling. I know where he lives. Showing up to his house. Can we...
Please, quick one, just a peek. I feel something in there. Oh, just poop again. Sorry. I don't even have a doctor. I gotta get a doctor.
You gotta get a doctor. Get some fucking blood work done. That's super important. Abby told me that was important. I got blood work done. It did nothing. I don't know. They're like,
Abby told Sam. It told me that I need to get my.
Apparently, it's important. Abby gets her blood work done like every 2 months. Like, what are you keeping tabs on? Do you think you have like sickle cell or something?
Oh yeah, it is weird.
What's
for
going
like
on?
Kind of a hypochondriac, I guess. That's what my family calls me. I don't really have any.
I think Abby genuinely is. Abby like will wake up and
I'm
she's
not
like
a genuine.
Something's up. Like my body feels weird. I think I might have Ebola, and she'll go get a blood work done.
God,
that's why that
gets tiring.
Where's that thing? This thing, that Whoop. I finally got her off the Whoop game, but this ruled her life. She was analyzing herself. She was analyzing me.
Ruled both of you for a minute.
And she was like, "What's going on? When was your menstrual cycle?" She was asking me all these.
You haven't jerked off in a day. You're gonna get sick.
I noticed your heart rate was up. Were you jerking off down there? I'd be like, dude, just stop analyzing my life through this damn Whoop. Well, I think she realized it was causing a lot of negative stress, so she stopped charging hers and wearing it, which meant I had an out because this was a present to me.
Yeah.
I had an out. I could stop wearing it, which was nice.
Well, I got an Apple Watch, and a couple times I just got so high that it would be like, your heart rate is going crazy, and then I'd just be like, it's a cause a fucking cycle of me being like, oh my god, and then like,
yeah, I would have the same problem with this. Yeah, my heart rate would be elevated. It would be like, oh, you're working out. I'd be, no, I'm sitting here bugged out of my mind.
Scared.
Yeah.
Now my heart's racing.
And then I got to make my heart go down, which you can't, if you're looking at it visually going up on the app.
Heart attack incoming, heart attack incoming.
Danger zone, danger zone.
Oh god.
You're freaking out.
Yeah, it's just like I'd just rather this is actually I don't know what kind of comparison I was about to make. I was about to say it's kind of like when a tornado warning siren goes off, but it's like there's no real tornado. I hate that shit. I'm just thinking that because that just happened the other day, where like I could hear the sirens in my basement. I'm like, I never remember. Like, does that mean there is a tornado, or it's just like there could be a tornado? And on the app, it's like, hey, there could be one. I'm like, just let me know. Let me know if like.
Do you guys live in a tornado place?
I mean, they come through every once in a while.
Huh.
Like, we don't live in goddamn Tornado Valley or whatever.
Yeah.
But, they've had occasional tornadoes that have ripped through some places here. But the thing that sucked, too, is, like, all my roommates were asleep. And I'm like, do I wake them up? And they're pissed off if we don't get... The house gets ripped off. But also, like, if the house were to... The first floor to be ripped away.
I remember
I'd feel pretty shitty.
I remember being irritated with Abby one time because I was outside and I was looking at the sky. I was like, it's like really green. The sky's green, and it's like when it's green, that's when you're about to have something happen. And like
sailors take fright.
And her phone went off and it was like severe, like tornado warning. And she was like, you need to get inside. I'm like, it'll like pick up. I assumed that it like picks up, like you'll start to see the treetops going and then I'll come inside. And she was like, just get inside. It's a tornado warning. I'm like, it's not just going to like touch down and yank me up into the sky. It's so dead out. And I sat there and was like arguing with her. I'm like, I'd already walked inside, closed the door. I was like, it's not just going to happen like all of a sudden. And like, as I'm making that argument, our fucking patio furniture goes like hovering across the fucking door because like the wind, it just instantly just like started yanking shit. And like we had a propane grill on the back porch and it was like, like getting like stilted across the floor. And I was like, oh shit, you were right. I won't fucking doubt you again. But she's very much that type of person where she's like, okay, tornado warning. We need to get into this room. This room has the least amount of windows, and it's in like the best place for it. Like,
I used to have the basement room at my dad's house, and my stepsister was fucking horrified of thunderstorms. And I'd be down there like playing Call of Duty, and she'd be so scared, like the whole family would have to come down there if there's any tornado, anything, or just a bad thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And she'd be like screaming and crying, and I'm like trying to play fucking like Xbox Live. I'm like, oh fuck, now everyone's in my room.
Yeah.
There's no separation, you know.
Well, now you have an audience. That's the
I'm like,
planting bud of you streaming.
Like now I can't cuss.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh shoot. Oh, okay, guys.
Oh,
like,
now I have to come up with a viable argument as to why you're bad instead of just blurting a slur.
Well, I
had to use
it was like fourth grade,
okay.
But like, I don't know. I just always I hated her. I hated her. I hate just like people that overreact to shit like that. Like it's such a not good like survival tactic or like.
No, that is a good survival tactic.
No, I mean not fucking No, screaming and crying at a thunderstorm is not a good survival tactic. Maybe it's good because people are like, oh man, something's wrong, but it's like, well, are we gonna get hit by lightning any less than if like you were just a little calm? I know it's like also like. Can't really control it, but we used to be on a pontoon boat because her grandparents, my step grandparents, had a pontoon, and it was always like if like 5 people were on this side of the boat and 2 people were on this side of the boat, she'd be like, "Oh my god, like the boat's gonna flip, like there's too much weight," and as many times as you'd be like, "That's not gonna fucking happen because it's like a boat made for this." And it's like very heavy down there. She'd be like, "You need to go sit over here. You need to go over there." And I'd be like, "Oh."
That being said,
oh my god, what, you saw a pontoon boat flip? There's no fucking way. We'd feel an indication before.
That being said, boy, do I have a story that lines up with this.
Oh my god.
My uncle brought me and my family on his pontoon boat. Now keep in mind, my family is from the deep south. They are
fuckers
fucking morbidly obese. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Where as we're pulling into the dock, we had a nice, beautiful trip down the Swanee River. And the Swanee's cool because I've told you guys about seeing an alligator there one time, but like as you go down the Swanee, there's
it's such a awesome, there's like dudes like you know it's cool because I saw an alligator there once.
No, like as you go down the river, there's like these little springs that feed it, and so you people ride on boats and then they stop and then they go swim at the springs and then they get back on the boat and go on down. There's like just a bunch of swimming holes that you can go to. On our way at the end when we were pulling up to the dock to like get everybody off. I guess everybody was just ready to get off, so they all walked to the front, and the boat just went down underwater, and like he had new carpet in it, the fucking furniture was new and shit, and he's just like, no, not everybody at once, and the boat just goes slowly underwater and gets like halfway down before it comes shooting up like a cork backwards because everybody kind of like fell off the front. And he was like, that's the dumbest shit in the world. Like in front of everybody, he was just. There's like all these families there. He's like, why would everybody just run to one side of a pontoon boat? You can flip these things, he says. And it had never occurred to us. But if your family was fat enough.
You should have shaken a little treat bag in the back. Got a couple of you strays back there. Yeah, no, our family's not nearly fat enough to fucking. Probably like 300 pounds total on that boat. We got 20 people.
This boat had 300 pounds per person. It was this boat was maxed out, dude. It was groaning.
No, I mean, of course, there's some fat fuckers in my family. Okay, who doesn't? But it would be like literally like one extra. It's scary to hear that is happening though, because I'm always like, you're off your rocker. You know, like that's not. It's this boat cannot flip. Like it's gonna like this just seems impossible.
It actually was so bad that my uncle was like, we're gonna dry dock it and I'm gonna put an extra pontoon underneath it so that doesn't happen again. He added a pontoon because it just had 2. And he was like, we're gonna do a third.
Like every pontoon, but that's Did you ever swim when it would go and you swim under it? That's fun.
No, I don't think so.
In the little like tunnel of the pontoon.
I was always scared about the alligators, so I don't think I did a lot of like swimming in the river.
Yeah,
I would swim at the springs, but the river was dyed like a dark brown reddish color because of the cypress trees. They kind of like make the water really dark and muddy looking. and it always scared me because alligators would be in there and you can't see them because it's not clear. It just kind of scared me, them floating around out there.
Oh, I mean, I would absolutely. I don't even like being in some Indiana ponds or lakes because I'm like, big old catfish might nibble on my toe.
I've also seen Lake Placid. There could be a possibility it could get up there.
Seen river monsters enough that I'm like, there's always something.
Didn't he stop his show because
shark.
he caught everything?
He caught everything.
That's fucking awesome. What a cool ass retirement.
Yeah, I mean that's probably how we'll end the podcast eventually. Is when we covered we've
said every
awesome
word
topic.
We've covered every word there is.
My little alarm goes off. Oh my god, I said it. I said every word on this podcast. Every one of them.
Yep. What do you think the final word would be?
Thanks. Thanks. I'm grateful. I'm not a spiteful nerd looking for a revenge arc. I don't know.
Probably some slur we haven't even thought of yet.
It hasn't been invented yet.
It hasn't been invented yet. We'll come up with it.
In the future. Yeah.
I'll be just the right amount of angry. And I'll be angry at just the right person where I'll come up with something.
Just the right subgroup.
Yep. Yeah.
Fat people that tip pontoon boats.
There has to be a word for
I've got a word for you. Your uncle in that moment could have come up with something beautiful and new.
Yeah.
Something fresh.
He couldn't he was the fattest out of all of us. That's why he really couldn't blow up as much as he wanted to.
I'm surprised he didn't
counterweight it, you would think. Yeah. But there was enough fat on that boat to counteract his fat.
Do you any of your fat people in your family ever act like they're really healthy, like in the way they talk and stuff? And granted, you can be fat and healthy, but you know what I mean?
Weight Watchers was huge in the 90s and 2000s, and they were like, oh yeah, what you need to do is eat rice cakes. That's what'll help you lose. I'm like, I'm not taking any advice from you, dude. You're like 400 pounds.
This is just a mean thing to say, but one of my uncles is he's the biggest guy in our family. And his kids are all big. He married into it. Yeah. He's a great dude, but him and my aunt are always so they just find a new fad and then are like, you need to be doing this. He's the healthiest he's ever been. You guys need to be doing these cold plunges and you need to be eating this type of nut and blah, blah, blah. And she would always talk about or ice plunges or whatever. She'd always talk about how my uncle is how healthy he eats. And my mom and I once caught him at McDonald's in the drive-thru and he's like, don't tell her. I still sneak over it. I need my Diet Coke and I need my fucking Big Macs. Yeah. And then she'd always be mightier than that or holier than that, whatever. Just he eats really healthy. He eats the healthiest out of anyone. And my mom's a vegetarian. And I just don't eat awful. I'm okay, sure. This is the healthiest guy in our fucking family. He's just a big ass hypocrite with a big fat belly. He's a nice guy though. Love you, uncle. One of the only uncles I got left, man. Peace out to that guy, fat fuck, fat fucker, trying to get me to work out. I'm fine. You're the one that needs to work out, you fat fuck. No, I love that guy though.
My uncle would always give me little tips, and I'm like, dude, you have a fish fryer on your back porch permanently installed. He would just keep the grease in it. He's like, I'm firing it up next day. It ain't going bad. As long as it gets the temp, it's okay. And so he would just come home and he would just fucking fry up some fish. My dad was the same way though. He learned how to make funnel cakes. He's
perpetual soup
he
or
just
whatever.
Had a funnel cake maker in the backyard and he would just make them whenever he wanted to. Which rocks. By the way, if I knew how to make a funnel cake,
I'd smelled fucking good all the time over. Too.
But
I haven't had a funnel cake in goddamn 20 years.
Dude, funnel cakes it's a miracle that they're just sold at fairs and stuff, because if they opened up a funnel cake store in town, I would have to drop by there and grab one.
They'd be out of business.
They would be out of business, but
that's
an awful idea for a place. But
maybe not.
Well,
maybe
you go to
so
a pastry place and they have donuts and stuff, but they never have funnel cakes. Why not? I'd buy a fucking
elephant ears, but yeah,
if
never
they were like, hey, do you want us to make you a funnel cake? You charge extra for it to get it fresh. I'd be all about that.
You know what? I'm actually going to say probably a hot take. I don't even think I like funnel cakes that much. Like,
All right, guys. Thanks
I
for
think I
watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
I think I could eat one ever,
Shut up.
but
I'm not talking to you anymore.
All right.
No, that's a bad opinion. It's just a bad one.
It's a hot take.
That is the hottest take I've ever heard.
I was raised in a family where you eat almonds for fun.
Well,
okay?
fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Funnel cakes, that's what I dreamed of at night sometimes. Oh, funnel cake with the powder on top. You got to put the powder on while it's still hot.
Pancake is better.
A pancake? No,
Pancake.
the problem with
rather eat a
pancakes is pancakes are delicious, but you have to eat them in the morning, and in the morning, that much sugar fucks up the rest of my day. But a funnel cake is an afternoon. It's like it's a given. It's like a dessert food. Now, if you said, do you want some flapjacks with syrup and everything after dinner, I'd be all about it. But nobody ever offers you pancakes at like 8 p.m.
It's possible, though.
It is possible. It's possible.
I know. Have you ever heard of this International House of Pancakes? They've got like at all hours you can get them, and it's pretty good. I just think, you know what it is about funnel cake? It's just so, I don't even know what it is. Like, it's just fried. What is it? Just fried?
It's just fried batter. It's just pancake batter. It's a deep fried pancake. That's all it is, isn't it?
But it's like so airy. Also, it's like, what's?
Yeah, because you just
it's like a really, really thin waffle.
Yeah,
it's been fried.
It's like a fried waffle. There's no way
just got powdered sugar on it.
It's a downgrade from a pancake or a waffle. It's definitely a better, because it's fried. Fried food's better. It's worse for you, but it's better tasting.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm not gonna get into this fight. Okay, it's the 7th. It's one day past payday, and I haven't paid you yet. Do you want your paycheck?
Yes.
Tell me how much you love funnel cakes.
I funnel those cakes into my mouth. How much I love
That's
them.
what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Powdered sugar is the best thing to put on.
Powdered sugar is kind of mid, but like, are you kidding me? A funnel cake? You don't like them? Christ, dude.
I'd rather eat a bear claw.
Fuck. I should have kept Bryan and fired you.
Yeah,
he would have been all about funnel cake. If I said, let's go to a funnel cake place, he'd be like, let's go. Let's do it.
He'd say, okay.
Okay.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah. Okay.
God, I can't wait for little Bryan to make his debut.
I know.
In just a week's time from today.
All right. Anyways, I'm going to turn off my recording now.
Well, anyways, let's give a little bit of a goodbye, because we're very grateful and thankful, and this job rocks. Hopefully, hopefully me writing down those 6 things really kept you intrigued. I pretty much blew through those in no time. They didn't really add much at all, so never doing that again. There is a guest next episode that's going to be really, really important.
Huge.
Don't want to spoil it, but pretty important guest.
Yeah. And next time you see us, we'll be live. It'll be an actual production, I hope, with varying camera angles.
I'm gonna get like 7 hours of sleep the night before, just be like totally charged.
Yep.
I'm like fucked for the day now. Like I do feel my heart like.
I'm about to piss on myself. And
I gotta pee, man. I gotta pee. Whatever.
Let's go pee.
All right, thanks guys.
Later.
Thanks for watching.